Yo, hello everyone. Welcome to Sweatlords podcast, episode 6. I'm here with Sam, and as always, Parker, who will probably not break any chairs this week. We think. We actually were just discussing this. We were actually just discussing the aftermath of the wooden chair situation. But anyways, Before I went live, I was looking for a question to start things off with, like just a bad like food icebreaker question, and I came across this article that had some really fucking bad ones. But then me and Parker like unironically started talking about one of them. I was like, listen to how bad this question is. Would you rather chew a raw onion for 10 minutes or 2 raw heads of garlic for 30 minutes? And I said that just to like make fun of it, and then we started actually debating it. So, what is the answer, boys? Would you rather chew a raw onion for 10 minutes or 2 raw heads of garlic for 30 minutes?
So, 2 whole heads or cloves?
Like yeah, that's. I'm kind of wondering that too. It does say heads of garlic.
What do you get? A chipmunk? Yeah, like one in each cheek.
I mean, I'm wondering the apple. Are you like, or the onion? Are you like eating it like an apple, like just taking a big old bite out of it? Because that's kind of nasty too. If so,
here's the thing about the long time frame is like if you chew on a head of garlic or 2 heads of garlic for 30 minutes, those last like 20 minutes are going to be just like flavorless paste. I feel like there can't be much left there.
I feel
at that
like
point you're just wasting daylight. It's a long time.
I feel like the onion is better in every way. Like raw onions are. It's not that crazy to eat a raw onion. Like you have like raw diced onions on like a hot dog or something. Like
I would absolutely hands down go onion.
Yeah, I think so too.
I feel like they're less dense. You know, onion is less dense than garlic. It would probably like break down in your mouth faster than garlic anyway.
Yeah. That's a lot of like, I feel like it's just acidic. I feel like I'd get nauseous.
Oh,
yeah.
Not from the flavor, just from the juice. Like
that's true. I guess like garlic's not that acidic, but garlic is like assaulting in its own way, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm kind of wonder if I have like a clove of garlic I could just munch on and get a feel for this.
You want to get a feel for that? Yeah, but I feel like the time frame is like.
I'll be back.
Do not do this.
Oh God, he's doing it for the content. I feel like the time frame is a big part of it too, though, because like 10 minutes is a much shorter amount of time than 30 minutes, right? Like,
and I will admit to like, doing like roasts, stews, soups, like when you have like whole like sauces, like whole cloves of garlic, like simmering in a sauce or something. Like, yeah, I've eaten those before, but like, that's a totally different ball game. Like it's cooked food.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Did you find one?
Yeah, but it's way too old. It's like a piece of wood.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm not eating that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. These questions are terrible. Wait, what the fuck is? Would you rather live in a world with no caffeine or a world with only raw food? Are you fucking kidding me?
There are other stimulants out there other than caffeine.
Yeah, dude, I'll just wake up and I'll wake up and do a line every day. I mean, like only raw food. Like you could live on like salads and shit, right? Like it would be really a boring, joyless existence. But like you could live.
Well, you could eat steak tartare. That's good.
There's a reason that humans have been cooking food since, like, I don't know, we could make fire. I mean, that's like
10,000 years or something like that.
I don't know, man. It's that just seems like a no-brainer. And I like caffeine, but I'm kind of like I could live without caffeine. I could just.
I think my life would
switch
be
to
better
cocaine or something.
They just took stimulants away.
Amphetamines.
Oh wait, they only took away caffeine, not other.
Yeah,
stimulants?
It just says caffeine. You're like, what? You're like, I can't live without my amphetamines, but caffeine.
Yeah. That's a dumb one.
What other stimulants are you consuming on a regular basis, like nicotine or something?
Oh, I mean, yeah, you have nicotine, taurine, like fucking like ginseng.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
I mean, I don't like. The only reason I would garlic.
Shut up.
Garlic is my favorite stimulant. Yeah, for sure. Real shit.
I was thinking of not ginseng. There is what's there's something like that has
Um,
I must be thinking of ginseng.
Ginseng is in like energy drinks and stuff, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
some, yeah.
yeah, I think it's like I almost want to say they put it in like tea drinks too, like Arizona, like iced tea or something has like ginseng in
they
it.
do. Mhm.
But yeah, I regret pulling this up. These questions are so stupid, but they're almost like they're actually so stupid that they almost become like their own discussion point.
Find one that's like, I don't know. Are there any on there that are real like?
Would you rather have the only beverage you can drink be water or the only food you can eat be a salad?
I'd go with the water thing.
Same.
Probably water.
I need to drink more water anyway. That's like the getting rid of caffeine question, because it's like I probably should just stop consuming caffeine.
Yeah, that's true. Would you rather have to eat 1 jar of jam every day for 10 years or never be able to eat bread for 20 years? Wait, actually, hang on.
Okay, yeah, I gotta chew on this.
Eating 1 jar of jam every single day for 10 years would be terrible.
Is this like
But I have
an
bread
infinitely
still.
refilling jar of jam?
I guess like you would just
like,
have
is
like
there
a
a-
new one every day. Okay, if you just have like a new jar of jam every day and you just have to finish it by the end of the day. Oh god, it's like depending on
That's a
what
lot
it
of
is though,
fucking
it's so
sugar.
much sugar. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Like, is there any kind of stipulation like how much jam you have to
I
consume
would-
in a day?
I would just cut out
It says
bread.
1
I think
jar.
you
I mean,
could-
what's like
yeah.
a typical like it's a typical like jar of Smuckers like
You're talking like the
Oh.
Walmart, like great value, like fucking.
What is it? Does this have okay, this is like mason jars. Let's say like a 16-ounce pint jar is a lot actually. I'm kidding. I'll take that back.
Pretty
That's
sure in the UK 3-liter jars of jam are like pretty common because they eat so much jam.
they already
well,
be living this reality.
Yeah.
They're not. It's not one of their 3-liter jars, but
I love me some bread.
same concept. Yeah, it would be hard to
but
give up bread.
I would probably have to go bread.
There's someone out there with like celiacs that's
Yeah.
like, like I get a choice.
You're just looking down like pathetic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like a keto diet, or like part of it.
Keto?
So
Never heard
I
it said like that.
Ketophilia.
Oh god.
ketamine diet.
Would you rather have no ketamine or be able to eat bread for the rest of your life? Wait a second. That's not a good either or. This one literally just says, would you rather have cheddar popcorn or popcorn with movie theater butter? It's like it's taking my fucking order or something.
Yeah, that's
It's
just
not
like,
even like a good, like, would you rather? It's just like,
Oh,
like what? Just
have
butter.
you guys ever had
Like,
that?
who
I think
cares?
I'm blanking on the name, but you can get it in. It's just like something you buy at the grocery store. Shit, what is it called? It's like a cheese, like popcorn and caramel. Like
yeah, what's that
like
stuff
caramel corn?
called?
That's got, it's got a
Creaters
name.
or something like that?
Yeah, it's GH Creators or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's good. I can't explain it
Oh, it's
either
hate
because
so
like
good.
I can't do the cheese powder shit. It's just gross to me.
do you like Cheetos?
Yeah, but not with caramel on them.
Are you a Doritos man?
I guess when I say the cheese powder thing, I mean like specifically on popcorn, and then especially not with like caramel. Like that's just weird.
It doesn't
you-
bother me even though like mentally I'm like I don't like that combination, but when I eat it it's like fine.
Are you one to mix your food, Parker? Or no.
Usually,
Like
yeah,
at all?
I don't mind mixing most things, but not fruit. I don't mix fruit with anything else. I like to just eat fruit straight and then keep it away from other food. So I don't know. But I
Interesting.
feel like cheese and caramel is less weird than that to avoid.
Wait, do you like on the subject of like both caramel and like not mixing fruit with anything, would you like dip an apple in caramel? You ever have that?
Oh
Yeah,
That shit's good.
they're both sweet though.
That's true, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
In the grand scheme of things though, caramel is like if you're gonna mix with something savory, caramel is like the sweet thing to do it with because it's got kind of like the like sort of saltiness to it as well.
Yeah, and it's pretty harmless. Like there's not a whole lot of other flavor there other than like
yeah,
I
right.
don't know, caramel, which is a pretty like neutral. Like I don't know. I feel like honey. I have a hard time mixing honey with things because it has like a distinct taste. It's like maple syrup.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Honey's so good though. Damn.
I
I like
know.
never have
Honey
honey.
and
like
but
peanut
it's-
butter
honey.
sandwiches.
Ooh, I'm not much of a peanut butter guy, to be honest, but
I like peanut butter. I could eat it with a spoon.
Oh, everyday occurrence. I consume unhealthy amounts of peanut butter.
we somehow have arrived on the subject of peanut butter again, but I won't roast Brita for like one of what I consider one of the strangest like food pairings of all time.
Wait, what is it?
I've already talked about it, so I feel bad bringing it up again. But like
We don't need to
peanut
talk
butter
about it.
and-
I
she
just- I'm
puts
curious.
Cheetos on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
You know what?
Don't
That's-
make that face.
So to
You're
be
not allowed
fair,
to think
a lot
that's
of, like,
anything but weird.
things
I've heard
like,
of people doing like chips on sandwiches and stuff.
Brita, would
It's
you
not
like to
like-
would you like to get in the call to defend yourself? We have room for one.
Yeah, do it. But there is like the peanut butter and banana sandwich thing, which is like really good, but seems bad. So I can't see it, but I can believe it.
I've heard of
Okay,
people
not
putting
gonna,
like
try it.
regular ass like
All right, Brita might
potato
hop in
chips
here.
on their peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So I don't think
That's
too
not. I
much
don't
of a
think
It's a
that's
lot-
that weird
It's
though.
not cheesy though.
It's not cheesy. Yeah. Is it dangerously cheesy?
Yo,
I'm
Brita,
here. Wait, fuck.
defend
Is it-
yourself.
Is it working?
Your
Yeah.
camera? I don't see your camera.
Okay.
Oh shit! You took
I'm-
my spot, and I have to. Okay, I'll fix this.
It's right here.
Yo.
All right,
Right
explain.
here.
Explain, Brita.
Good. I don't know what else to say.
So you came in here to say it's good and then dip.
Wait, Britta's in the Discord server?
I just
He
added
added
her
me
so that she could come in and.
Very
Just for-
temporarily,
All right.
literally just so I could defend myself because I get roasted for this on the daily. Actual every day. I get roasted for this.
All right, we need like a
You eat them
doctoral
every day?
thesis defense
'Cause
here.
it doesn't seem like a
she
good
did
thing.
have that combo recently, very recently.
Literally today for lunch. I had that. Yes, indeed.
Nice.
Indeed.
Nice.
It's like a okay. You I will say
Yes.
this. Do you eat those little sandwiches where it's like the cheese cracker?
That
and
is not
peanut
the
butter?
same thing. That is not the
No,
same thing.
I don't really like those. It is, yeah. I can see what she's saying though.
I haven't had them probably since I was a kid,
It's
but yeah, I
it's
remember
something
liking them.
about like the salty and the like saltiness of the peanut butter, but then also a little bit of sweet. I don't know. It just works.
It just works.
It just works. Sam, you were like thinking about it.
Yeah,
you were
Sam.
like,
Sam
yeah,
like
I
had
could kinda
a
see
look
that. I
of
can see it.
strange approval in his eyes.
Well, I was mentioning to Nick, like I've heard of people putting like straight up like potato chips, like Ruffles, on their.
I've done
Yeah,
that.
but
pizza before, so I
Brita
don't-
done
often defends this by saying that, but I think it's different. I think it's totally
Okay.
different. I don't know.
Literally not different.
The cheese
Literally
does
not
change the game a
different.
little bit, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's even almost unfair to compare like a picture like a cheese plate or something. Like I would have cheese with nuts all the time, but we're talking like cheese powder, like
Mingling
Cheetos.
with
Cheetos cheese.
Cheetos cheese
which
and peanut butter.
is like I don't even know if you could draw that parallel.
Okay. I don't know, man.
would
Something
you
about-
like?
I like
okay,
started
wait,
doing
wait,
it as a
wait, wait,
kid.
wait. Here's a question for you, Brita. You remember? Did you ever have those like popcorn topping powders like at the movie theater?
Yes.
They literally have one that's just like cheese powder. Would you put that on a peanut butter and jelly?
No.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't.
I don't get any benefits of the Cheeto though. Like the Cheeto, like I get crunch and there's
So
like
it's all about the
substance.
crunch and none about
It's
the.
more about a crunch on the sandwich because I will put
So you could put packing peanuts in there, really.
Or put a rice cake in there.
Actually, don't. That I think it could go worse than putting a
I've
rice
heard of
cake on there.
people
I don't mind
making
rice cakes.
Oh,
making
no, yeah, yeah.
sandwiches with rice cakes. Like
Yeah.
instead of bread, you just do
hmm
2 rice. It's like the saddest
Instead of
sandwich
something
ever,
with
but-
nutritional value, just put a rice
Yeah,
cake on
right.
it.
Right.
It's the ultimate depression sandwich.
Exactly.
Oh god. Yeah, I'm pretty sad
Exactly.
thinking about that. And I've eaten raw ramen, so
Oh no.
Ooh.
yeah.
There are some people
Let's,
who just
uh,
like that. I don't understand
Let's
that,
pivot
but
and talk about that.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not
Let's
much to
dissect that.
talk about.
Right, Parker, for that.
Parker, are
My-
you
my-
okay?
No, so I didn't have water at my apartment. This was years ago, and so I was like, this can't be that bad if I like put the powder on it and smash it up and eat it. And then like
Wait,
I had,
okay,
like, a
no.
Gatorade
This
to
got
drink, which
this got
was-
weirder.
How did it get
The
weirder?
powder, you just put the powder on the raw brick.
Well, what else? I'm not gonna waste the powder.
I
It
don't know,
tastes
just
like nothing without the
Take
powder.
a bite of ramen.
You just
and-
fucking
I'm not gonna
mainline
say
it.
enjoyed the
Rip a
experience. I was
fat
just
line.
very hungry. I couldn't make proper ramen.
Oh my. Wow.
Yeah,
I
no
don't know how to feel about that.
I could have gone and gotten some. I just really didn't feel like it. I didn't think it was gonna be that bad, and then it was pretty bad.
I've heard of people eating the like bricks of ramen before, and I think
I've
it's
heard of
I think
that,
it's
yeah.
weird, but it's not as weird as what you described.
What's weird? What that is exactly it though.
You put
Just
the
eating
the
raw-
powder on it.
Of course
It'd be
I
all
did.
like
It's the
grainy
seasoning.
and gritty and
Well, the
You
powder's
gotta have
very
seasoning
fine.
on your
It's like
uncooked
the
noodles.
powder's super fine. It's like flour.
it just like turned into like an actual like ramen soup in your mouth.
Yeah, I guess if you let it sit in there long enough.
It's like making a
Oh.
sandwich.
It's like,
in your
what? I
mouth.
don't
You
need to
just,
go get
like,
water.
eat
I
some
have water
bread,
in my
some meat,
mouth.
and drink some mayonnaise.
Oh, yikes.
You wash it down with a PBR or something.
Oh.
I am actually. I'm ready for another beer, so soon.
Nick, did you
Not a
ever
PBR
watch?
though.
Did you ever watch that General Sam video where he makes the cursed food from Reddit?
No, I didn't.
I watched that recently.
I
yeah.
need to.
Where he makes noodles, but instead of water, he uses blue Powerade.
Oh my
It's like the
god!
same energy.
It's
Holy
Oh,
shit!
oh,
That's incredible.
It is horrific. Like he literally he put what is it? That like dusty cheese. It's like Parmesan or
No,
whatever.
Well, they
Oh,
It's
the
like
du-
it
not
comes
like
in
the
like
powdered
the
stuff that comes
the
with
plastic
Kraft.
like container, you know. And
yeah, it's just
all
like the
dusty.
powdered like
All right,
Parmesan.
I'm gonna pull this up,
Okay.
or at least pull up the. Is it Cursed Foods?
It's
I
a
kinda
like-
s-
now
yeah,
that-
that's the
Think so.
subreddit.
It's a
Yeah.
fairly
these
like
nice-
brief video.
We should make a list of these different weird things that we eat, and then just some night everyone has to eat them.
Yo,
did
you
the
guys could
one
all have
time,
peanut
I'm
I'm
butter
not
and
putting the
jelly and
ramen thing on the list though,
Cheetos.
because that's not something that I do. It's something I tried.
We did the one time eat. We made the breakfast sludge. I don't know why that just reminded me of that.
That video's still on YouTube.
Is it? There's a
Oh,
video
yeah.
of us. I thought it was on Facebook that it got posted, but maybe.
What's-
No, it's on YouTube.
What's breakfast
It's
lunch?
privated, of course, but
Gotcha. Breakfast sludge was something. What was the origin of it? Like, was it like
yeah,
a
it was,
Reddit or
some
4chan
meme
thing or
post.
something?
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's just like you basically combine like a whole bunch of different like breakfast foods. Like there was like coffee in there. There was Weetabix in there. There was God, what
There's, like,
else
a
was
chin
in there?
strip in that video. It's fucking weird.
Oh my god, I want to see this video now. I forgot there was a video of it.
Yeah.
I'll drop it in the chat here.
You have the
Alrighty.
video? Oh, you mean
No, he's
the
talking about something
recipe
else,
for
yeah.
breakfast sludge? Okay.
Breakfast.
better still
sludge.
be on
No,
YouTube,
no,
I'm
it's
gonna be
just the General
pissed.
Sam video.
I was trying to find the some of the posts from the subreddit, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
I don't think I have the right one.
I feel like that would be a really fun stream idea, Nick. We should
Make cursed
find
foods.
cursed recipes and eat them and rate them.
There's definitely like that was like an era of YouTube where people just did food challenges. Like, do you remember that? I remember Parker doing the cinnamon challenge and just like tanking it like a boss.
Yeah, I still think we might have done that wrong because it was way too easy.
You might just be built different.
I was gonna say, was it like just a heaping spoon of cinnamon?
Yeah, that's exactly
all
what
it
he
I
did.
thought so, but it
Yeah.
wasn't hard. I think it might have been cinnamon sugar or something, and that's why it was so easy.
Is that? I guess that is different. Yeah, I don't know. There was also like the milk challenge. I never wanted to do that though because that was just like a
That one
guaranteed
grossed
like
me out.
puke.
Yeah, I like milk a lot, but not that much.
Oh,
Oh, a
there's the
whole
video.
gallon.
Yeah, you know what? On second thought, that title, I literally can't say that, but that title is absurd.
That's why I didn't say that.
Yeah,
Oh.
you might have to change some things about
No,
that.
that's a private video that's never
Well,
going public.
Yeah,
so
I won't.
Okay,
I won't.
yeah,
I won't
fair
show
enough.
it.
Fair enough.
I just wanted to like. I thought about like mentioning it, but even the title is like it's fucking
Bad.
horrible.
It's thank goodness
well,
that's private.
there's actually some context to that title that makes it not nearly as bad,
but still not great. Maybe worse in some ways.
Y'all are gonna get canceled for a privated video that happened.
Okay,
like, over a
we're
decade
actually
ago.
making it sound so much worse than it is at this
It's really
point.
not
Like,
that bad.
it's really
Yeah.
not that bad. It was based on a funny edit of a Wikipedia
Oh
article.
no, that was
where
the
that
wrong.
came
I just
from.
posted the time I did the cinnamon challenge. That's not the one I wanted.
Well, it's a private
Either
link,
way,
so
either
when I
way,
click on
yeah.
it, I can't see it anyway.
Oh, it's actually private, not just like unlisted.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
the-
like when you click on it, it just says private because I immediately clicked on it to watch it later. But
Save that one
This
for
is why
later.
you're not allowed in the Discord. I want you to see my history.
Oh man.
I have videos of myself that are public posted on YouTube that are very cringe.
I don't
and
like the way you made that sound at first.
not bad. A friend and
Just
I.
cringe.
I'm not gonna go into it because I don't want people to find it.
With the tribe.
No, even earlier than that. I was like a
Okay.
freshman in high school. And me and a friend were like, let's start a YouTube channel. So we posted
Didn't everyone
one
do
video.
that? I feel like everyone did
Yeah.
that.
Found it.
It's so
There you
cringe
go.
though. It's so cringe. Like oh man.
Oh shit.
The Powerade and the noodles.
There it is,
So
yeah.
good.
How does this
It's so
podcast
good.
always end up devolving to cursed food? All right, here we go. I'll show
I mean,
this. There you go. Thing of beauty. Oh my
Here,
god.
get
How it turns like green.
green. He like takes a bite of it too. He's like, it's like sweet. Like
This is what is it? It's like rigatoni and wait,
Yep.
no, is that what that's is that what that
Rotini.
rotini, thank you.
rotini.
And blue Powerade. It actually like turns green. I fucking hate it. I fucking
So
hate
bad.
it.
So bad. I hate it.
Oh my god. All right. I think we can safely move off of cursed food. Brita, if you want to hang around, that's fine. But we're gonna talk about sweaty gamer stuff.
What kind of sweaty gamer stuff would I be able to contribute or probably not?
No
Among
gamer
Us.
girls.
Yeah, no
allowed.
gamer girls. Yeah, we're gonna talk about
Guys,
Among
what
Us.
about that Nintendo Direct?
We
today?
could talk about the Nintendo Direct, but me and Brita might be the only ones who watch it. Did you guys see anything from it?
I'm not really super.
I don't
invested in
even know what
Nintendo,
that
yeah.
is. Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah, I
Well-
mean, Nintendo Directs are probably really cool and fun if you like JRPGs, because it feels like every time they announce like 6 of those, and then
Oh,
like
I love JRPGs, dude. It's like all I play.
and then yeah, and then basically like they didn't even talk about Breath of the Wild 2, which was kind of lame. But they did announce that for $25 you can buy a bunch of old Mario Kart tracks
Like DLC for the
for
Switch
Mario Kart 8.
yeah.
And then what else was there?
A new Kirby
New
game.
Kirby game.
Nintendo Switch Sports.
That looked kind of
Hello?
lit, actually. It's basically Wii Sports, but for the Switch.
I am gonna play the fuck out of that.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, it'll be pretty neat. But yeah, per usual, not all that much of interest. It was 40 minutes of them like saying they're gonna re-release old games and like not teasing the new games that people want to see.
We will absolutely do a Nintendo Sports stream. I
yeah,
literally yelled that
me and
to
Brita
Nick
definitely. Yeah,
when I was watching Nintendo
demanded it.
Direct. It's like we have
Yes.
to play it.
They're just doing their best to milk that emaciated cow of old games to death. Like the
Pretty
Skyrim
much.
re-releasing?
Pretty much. What was they're releasing Portal and Portal 2 on the Switch. Wait, they're releasing No Man's Sky on the Switch. I almost forgot about that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
It's actually probably a better way to play that game than like as like a PC.
I was
game.
actually I don't even own it on PC still, even though I'm like mildly interested in it. But I was kind of like, maybe I buy that on the Switch.
That's probably the most like logical of all the things I've heard.
The
getting ported over to the
graphics
Switch.
did not look impressive. I'll say that much.
They don't on PC either. So
Well, fair
don't
enough.
worry
That
about
is it is kind of like a stylized game. It's not like a
very much.
realistic game, but
It's also, but yeah, the graphics even on like even a stylized sense don't look fantastic. So
yeah.
putting it on Switch probably won't change it much.
Yeah. And then there was like a Super Mario like soccer game that I guess some people were hyped for.
Super Mario
but
Strikers,
yeah.
right? And
It
a Kirby
actually
game.
looked kind of
There's
fun.
a Kirby game
Yeah, there's a Kirby game. I don't even know what to like say about the Kirby game. It's like,
with the cursed stretch Kirby.
oh yeah, there's like this image
Stretch Kirby.
from that
I'll find an
trailer where
image.
Kirby like stretches his entire body over a car and just becomes
Oh,
like a
God.
Kirby car.
Eats it like an amoeba.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever played a Kirby game like straight up.
Not even like the old
I,
ones.
No.
I don't think I have
The
either.
Nintendo 64 one, maybe I played at my friend's house. Did you? Yeah, here, I'll show it.
What is this?
Wait, did you post it? Oh yeah, it's farther down.
Oh, it's so much worse that it's all like rusty and shit. It makes it like he's some.
It's like if you've ever seen somebody like stretch a condom over their head.
Oh, it's gonna make me.
My
It's
favorite-
making me download the file. What the fuck?
It is.
Oh, weird.
Oh,
It just
for me.
showed up as an embedded image for me.
yeah.
Oh god, that's really
Yeah, there's
like
there's the Kirby car.
It reminds me of something else that I can't think of, but I don't like it either way. Oh, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that shit. Who made the Uncanny Valley video? What are those guys' names?
Uncanny Valley.
They make like really surreal like comedy videos.
I don't know
can't
why,
think
but
of
the
it.
only thing that's coming to my mind is going to the store. When you say surreal comedy videos, which I guess
What is
fits.
that guy's name?
At his peak comedy.
Or
I'm pretty sure it's the guys that made the
Syriac or whatever his name is. That comes to mind too.
Oh god.
I wouldn't even call those like comedy videos. They're just like experimental animations.
But it's like because he like slaps baloney or something onto a rock to make it look more like a person, and that's what it reminds me of.
You know what? That sounds vaguely familiar, but
You'll
can't.
know it if you see it.
Yeah, I
but
just
yes,
can't
It looks
remember.
like very pink human skin, just like stretched over a car.
Yeah, that's
Ugh.
pretty much it. And then yeah, I don't know if there was really anything else worth mentioning from the Nintendo Direct. There was a whole bunch of games that like I just saw were going to be like a JRPG that I probably wouldn't be interested in, and then just checked out of.
Basically, yeah.
And
They did all like the Mario related things at the first part, and then all the stuff we didn't care about at the second
yeah,
part.
they always do the thing where they're like, "There's one more announcement," and I was like, "Yes, it's gonna be Breath of the Wild 2," and then it was fucking Xenoblade 3. I was like, I'm like, this is cool for the 5 people that like Xenoblade, and not much else. Yeah, weirdly, out of all of that, the most exciting thing was the very, very underwhelming Mario Kart tracks that you have to pay for. But even still, I was like, all right, 40 new tracks for Mario Kart. That'll be all right. I like Mario Kart.
That's a lot.
Well,
40?
I say
Dang.
new,
That's
but
a-
so
Spacing them out over. It's like once a quarter. They'll drop
they're dropping
Eight-
8, yeah,
8
every-
tracks,
Oh,
for
okay.
6.
and that goes through 2023.
Wait, am I doing
So-
my
That's a
math right?
pretty good roadmap, at least for content.
So 48, and it's
Yeah.
almost 50.
Yeah.
So they're basically doing 2 Grand Prix every quarter. But it's all old maps. It's all like updated
Coconut
old
Mall.
maps.
Coconut Mall.
Oh my god, I
You
forgot.
just got
That's a.
coconut
Coconut
mauled.
Mall.
Is that what it's called? That
Yeah.
map? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coconut Mall.
I always liked that map for the experience, but I sucked at it.
That was a fun map. I
just like the
loved
music.
playing that. Yeah, the music was
There's
really
a
good.
lot of good music in those games.
Portal 1 and 2 is
Was that one
interesting for
only
the
in
Switch.
Double Dash, or was it in other ones?
I think
It
it
was
was in the
in
Wii one. I don't
the
even think it was
Wii.
in Double Dash.
Yeah, I
Oh,
just played it on the
maybe
Wii.
there's definitely a mall map in Double Dash.
Yeah.
And by definitely, I mean I'm pretty sure.
You might be thinking. Are you thinking of the cruise ship?
No, but I like the cruise ship.
Yeah, I like that one
It's
too.
cool. Yeah, that's a fun one.
Man, how many Mario Kart maps are there like all time? Like at some point, because they already have a bunch of old ones in the new Mario Kart. Well, I say new. It's the Mario Kart from like 6 years ago that just happens to be the newest one. They have a bunch of old maps in
Holy
in
shit!
that
I
game,
just looked
but
it up.
how many?
170
Holy
original
shit.
tracks.
Wow.
Is that gonna include like the versions that were on like Game Boy or some shit?
Probably,
then, that
yeah.
are, like,
But they do sometimes
Yeah.
remake those tracks, and sometimes they're good. Like, and a lot
Okay,
of people
so
didn't
this
play them, so they're almost new to some people.
this article says it like breaks it down by game. Like how many new tracks are there per game? And
Hmm.
Mario Kart 8 has the most at
How-
25 brand new tracks.
How many Grand Prix
Before
are
the
in Mario
DLC.
Kart 8, Brita? I'm trying to do some math here. Is there 8 or 10?
8. I'm pretty sure there's 8.
So there'll be 80 maps in Mario Kart 8 when they release all of these. So
Jesus, 80
Dang.
map.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a ton.
but yeah,
I'm gonna log in and not know which one to click. There's gonna be too many
we
options.
already
I
don't.
know for somebody like me, that's like just too much. It's just anxiety.
It's-
It's just
yeah.
It's
like,
aggressive.
All the time, there's already so many in the game that all the time we don't know which one to like. We don't know which Grand Prix to pick, and then we'll pick one and we'll be like, I don't even remember this map.
Yeah.
Literally. And then we have to play it Big Blue at the end. That's always what we do. It's a Grand Prix and then Big Blue, because Big Blue's the best one.
Yeah, Big Blue is straight heat. That much is
That's
for
a really
sure.
good map.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's one of the Mario Kart maps. This might be new in like the newest Mario Kart. So if you haven't played it that much, then you probably this wouldn't mean anything to you. But it's one where it's like
At
it's just
all,
straight,
yeah.
like straight through. You don't do like laps. You just go like it's just like one long track. So it's cool. Berta, what are you doing?
Turning on a
What?
light. I turned on a light, so I'm better lit. This is I have like a little ring light that like comes off my desk because this is where I sit for work meetings. So
She's
I
lit.
have a light.
She's
Yeah.
I'm
lit.
so glad I don't have to do webcams for my work meetings.
Oh my god, I am on webcam like all day, every day for my
Oh, man.
It's great because for some meetings we do use Zoom, and
Mhm.
I just have to call into them on my phone, which is annoying because then I
Mm.
can't see like who's talking or anything. Like
Yeah.
I don't. But yeah, I don't want to use a webcam.
I'm surprised that you guys use Zoom.
I would think with what you do, Parker, you would use something a little more secure to communicate with each
Right.
other.
We use like Zoom for government, and it's
Oh,
and
interesting.
the only
Huh.
reason we use that is they didn't want us using Skype for it.
Yeah,
For
even
certain
still,
government contracts. So
I'm surprised that you
They
guys don't
prefer
use
Zoom,
Teams
though?
or like not even Teams. What's the Cisco one that I'm thinking of?
A
WebEx?
WebEx, yeah.
WebEx. Yeah. Yep. that's the
WebEx
one.
is garbage. I
Dude,
used
whenever
that
I
one
get
before.
invited
It's
to
bad.
like a WebEx meeting externally at work, I'm just like, oh god, I have to download the Boomer software. It fucking
So
looks
one of
terrible.
the places that using it externally sucks. However, I did work at a place where like they did all of their like internal communications with WebEx, and they had like meeting boards in the rooms and
Ooh.
everything, and the like latency and like quality and everything just like going from like like staying like internal to the company was flawless. Like it was probably like the best like remote meeting experience I've had.
Yeah, interesting.
I
Yeah,
used a
I
meeting software once called Blue Jeans.
that
Is it out
doesn't
of a-
sound real.
It might as well not be real. But I was on like a conference call with like someone externally and they wanted to use Blue Jeans. So they sent us a stupid Blue Jeans link. And the guy, he would talk and there would be a 10-second delay before he could hear our response. So we would literally
Oh
have to
my
wait.
God.
He would talk, we would wait 10 seconds and then we would respond. Wait 10 seconds and then he would respond.
was
it was
this-
the longest meeting in my
Was
life.
this someone like domestically, like in the US? Like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
It just was
The
the
hell is
shittiest
this?
software I've ever seen. Or did you look up Blue Jeans?
Yeah, I had to look up like Blue Jeans
Oh,
software
this-
to get past like all of everything else that
bad.
has
Yeah.
to do with Blue Jeans.
It's so bad.
Well,
Ugh.
Oh, I guess it's a Verizon thing.
Yeah,
Interesting.
That kind of
guess.
makes sense.
um,
I feel like every like phone service provider like extra thing is just always bad. Like the Verizon Cloud compared to just using like Google or something.
I wonder if it's
Just
really
terrible.
cheap and that's why they use it.
Um,
Because I like
Maybe.
Apollo in my
But even
chat
then-
said I have
Zoom is
in-person work.
free. You could literally
I've
use
never
free Zoom.
heard of that. In-person work, does that have good latency? Do you experience any interruptions when you're speaking to others on in-person work?
Who the fuck would
like-
name it Blue Jeans? I think the name
I
is the
don't-
big hang up for
Who
me.
put his
Like,
name?
like did
Blue
Luke
Jeans.
Bryan? Did they consult like a
Luke Bryan.
country star like marketing on this? Like, do we need to create a competitor product named
Yeah.
like Dirt Road or Cold Beer or something?
Dirt Road.
Try my new video streaming service called Denim Jacket. Like,
Denim jacket.
I'm thinking of another
my
one that
God.
I've used called Toucan. That
What
one's
the
at least
fuck?
like
Sounds-
You're making
better
these up. You're
experience.
making these
I'm
up.
not making it up, I swear. Toucan is a real one. It's like it's meant for large group calls and you all show up in these little bubbles and then you kind of like float around the screen and like connect with
All right,
each other.
first three results. The
Sounds
Wikipedia
annoying.
page for toucans, the bird. Toucan, a browser extension where you learn a new language just by browsing the internet. And then toucans on National Geographic. San Diego
Toucan-
Zoo, Encyclopedia Britannica.
It's
yeah,
it's kinda-
I
No,
put
I-
in Toucan like conferencing for all my like search. I put conferencing into the search because
Okay.
otherwise these
It's
things
software.
just don't come up.
It's
Yep.
it's pretty underground. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Ryan
Ryan, you've
Ryan
used
said
Toucan.
toucan exists. Shit
All right.
sucks.
Yeah,
Damn,
it's
man.
not
Yeah,
great.
toucans just be catching strays out here.
We gotta do a tier list of video conferencing
Oh,
tools.
I can't
No.
imagine
No.
a worse topic.
No. I've only
Not
ever
only that,
used,
but yeah,
like,
hopefully
2.
you don't ever use all that many unless you're just
I've
hopping
used
around to
so
all
many.
sorts of
I'm
jobs.
like thinking about it now, and I'm like, fuck, I've used way too many of them.
Well, it doesn't matter really because at the end of the day, whatever video conferencing, meeting, chat software you're using for work right now, you can just throw it away because in a couple years we'll all be using the Metaverse. Or
True.
No.
not, because Facebook, fucking Facebook, aka Meta, basically had the biggest single day drop in their stock of all time, which I think is fucking hilarious because this wasn't the intent of this podcast, but lately we've, as we discuss many other current clown world happenings, we do tend to talk about things like NFTs and the Metaverse, and so it's come up a few times on this podcast. But what I really think is not that Apple's privacy changes tanked Facebook stock. I think that they heard our podcast. They heard us talking about how we were going to shit on the floor of the virtual Walmart, and people were like, you know what? No, I don't want the Metaverse. I don't know,
Where
man.
can I put all the NFTs that I bought though? I was planning on
So,
keeping
wait.
them in the metaverse.
This is actually, I was thinking about this today, and I was wondering why NFTs and the metaverse like are so intertwined, because I was like, NFTs are just like, they're just like a thing, and then the metaverse is like another thing. But why are they so? Why are like the metaverse people and the NFT people like the same? Why is the Venn diagram of those two people like a circle? But the more I thought about it, the more, and the prospect of ever like truly owning something digital, like the more it made sense, because I was like, okay, NFTs are the way that Facebook, aka Meta, is going to milk us of all our money in the metaverse. That's how it's going.
And I think the people that would be really obsessed with both those things are just both the kind of people that like their entire existence is being online.
Yeah.
Like they want the metaverse so that they have even less reasons to go outside. And right now, like you can just copy and paste things. But if everything's controlled by Facebook, then the art that you own in the metaverse is now yours in your own little imaginary world. So I don't know. It's weird. It's not a good direction. I don't like it. I
No.
feel
Yeah.
like a boomer shaking my fist
mean,
at the kids, but like
we-
just
Like I said, we talked about this before. I think though that Facebook's stock, like, you know, falling to the absolute bottom of the fucking Challenger deep, tells me
Good
that people
sign.
don't want this. Like, I've
Yeah.
never met anyone who was interested in the metaverse as like an entire concept. Like, I know people who have VR headsets or people who like,
yeah,
you
I
know.
have one. I like VR games.
Right,
Yeah.
or
It's
spend
fun.
time in like VR chat, right?
But at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
VR
you
chat,
can take
especially
your
during
headset off
Corona.
and go live your fucking life. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think the overlap of people, I think the biggest thing why like there's a negative reaction to the metaverse is that the overlap of people that are still very, very active Facebook users and believe in their products
mhm.
and the group of people that are would actively use a VR product, they're not the same.
Yeah, no, that's we talked about a Venn diagram that's just a circle. That's a Venn diagram that's just two separate circles.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I think even more noteworthy than the whole than their stock price tanking was this last quarter. I think was the first time that they'd reported a decline in users.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think they've had a decline in users for a long time.
I think
I think this was
Is
the
Facebook?
first, where they haven't.
so. Facebook. Here's the thing about that though. Facebook is not like going to report a decline in users lightly. I assume that what's happening is that people stopped using their service, but were not deactivating their accounts. Like they
Yeah.
just were not using the service anymore. But Facebook could still report,
Because
however many billion users or whatever.
Yeah.
I do know the active user count from like just analytics has been dropping for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, they're
Okay.
dying out pretty hard.
So I assume at this point
no.
more people are deactivating Facebook accounts than than creating new Facebook accounts. Like I'm
Which is
assuming
pretty
that
significant
is
'cause
very
just going out of
significant.
your way. Like going out of your way to do that instead of just like hiding it or just like I have one, I never use it. Like I never log in. I use Messenger because I have some friends that use Messenger and it annoys
Same.
me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's weird because before Facebook was like this evil overlord, like I kind of just had this like evergreen view of Facebook. Like when I started my Facebook and like it was the only social media I knew, I was kind of like, oh, people will just use Facebook forever.
Yeah.
And like this will just be like my, like the scrapbook of my life or whatever. And I think that's what they wanted. But somewhere along the line, they realized they could just make a shitload of money off of people's data, and then it didn't matter anymore.
They got too big for their britches and
Yeah.
tried to
Yeah.
push
Yeah.
too much new content and try to find new ways to exploit people.
I
and
mean,
it-
anymore,
biting them in
like,
the ass,
and
rightfully.
I don't blame you guys if you haven't been on Facebook in like literal years, but like anymore, do you like if you check Facebook, do you even see like a human being that you know in your newsfeed? I swear to God, I just see
Literally
like,
never.
yeah,
No.
like ads
So,
and articles and like, yeah.
I haven't had a Facebook for 4 or 5 years now,
Which is completely understandable.
yeah. But I do still have an Instagram, and I'll log in. I don't have the app on my phone because it's one of the worst apps for background data collection and all that stuff. So I'll log into it on my web browser just maybe, I don't know, once every couple weeks probably. But to your point, I don't see anything from any individual person. It's all
No.
ads.
So many ads.
businesses.
I pulled it up out of curiosity and I guess my buddy's in a relationship. That's good. Everything after that is just random shit.
I think
though.
the worst thing they
Even-
ever did was like choosing to like prioritize showing you things that people like and share rather than just like
Yeah.
their own
Yeah.
updates, right? But
Yeah,
it's all
rather-
about
as
just
opposed to,
getting
like,
like
a-
more content in front of you, like just to keep you like fucking doom scrolling through their website.
Right.
Like,
Maximize user engagement.
all right, someone in chat said people in the metaverse get no bitches. You might actually be correct about that because hold up here. Meta
Preach.
establishes 4-foot personal boundary to deter VR groping. So not only can you not escape from your awful existence in the time of COVID where you never see people face to face and you have to keep your distance from them. Don't worry, because you also have to keep your distance from them in the metaverse, which is so sick.
Stay the
What-
fuck away from me if you see
What
me
if-
in the metaverse.
What about consensual digital contact?
I know, right?
There's
Like,
other
can you turn it
websites
off?
for that.
Yeah,
off the boundary.
right. You gotta go to VR chat. I don't know. I'm not gonna read this whole article, but like, come on, man. Come on.
I feel like it's just gonna end up a lot like Second Life anyway, where it's just full of just weird shit, and every girl you come across is the acronym, guy in real life.
Oh yeah.
So- I don't know. It's so weird.
I mean, that's already kind of how VR chat is, from what I understand. I've never obviously done.
Oh yeah.
VR. Well,
it's
but
like,
but VR chat too is like it's the type of thing where you can seek out the type of experience that you want.
Right.
a lot of anime girls.
There. Yes. Yep.
Mm.
God.
The
Yeah.
disgust in your voice.
So the metaverse isn't even really a real thing yet, but Facebook already doesn't want you to have any fun.
No
Is that the
groping
only way
in the
that you can
metaverse.
have fun, Nick, in VR?
Is good groping. Yes, consensual groping, of
Groping.
course.
You get just
Yeah.
waving your hand around because there's nothing physical there. So
Does Facebook still have their dating service? I know a while ago they like released a
Is that a thing?
Tinder-esque
You guys keep
platform
talking. I'm gonna grab a beer.
They did?
called Facebook
Actually,
Dating. Yeah,
that
I'm
sounds-
like
No.
really curious if Facebook's dating still exists.
Oh, that sounds like a nightmare.
It does. It does.
Oh,
yeah, it's a
no.
thing.
It's based off of your Facebook account, so you can just like
Hey.
add like a dating profile, and then it matches you to people that you're either like friends with or that are like in your area. I think similar.
Oh,
to
Huh.
Tinder.
it's even weirder if it's people that you're already friends with. I don't want people to see that. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it still exists.
Yeah, it's a
it-
thing.
They literally have a section on their website. Here's how to get to it on Facebook because it's so buried in all the garbage that they offer.
Wasn't the original intent of Facebook to be like a dating service essentially? I remember like admittedly my knowledge of the foundation of Facebook comes entirely from the movie The Social Network. But
Yeah.
wasn't it like it
Actually,
started
I've
out as
seen
he was
that.
like ranking like they were like ranking their classmates on like
I
attractiveness.
thought it was
and then,
more
like,
of like an online yearbook. Was kind of like how, or like a.
I mean, that's how it was like up
think that's
until
how
like that was kind of the vibe it had up until like I sort of I was out of like high school basically. Like it was kind of
Yeah.
like the thing when we were in high school.
Well, what's interesting about our age group in particular, at least I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. Like we were a little too late to the party in terms of like social media for MySpace,
Mhm.
but like got to Facebook like right as it was kind of actually becoming more mainstream, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we were like kind of on like the first or second wave of Facebook.
I would say second, yeah.
Probably second, because
Yeah.
Facebook started in like I just looked it up. It's like
Well, okay. I meant
2004,
like the first like
2005.
big wave of like adoption,
see.
you know.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not while it was
Isn't-
still a .edu email
Yeah,
required
right,
to
right.
Yeah.
No, I mean
To
those
connect
people
only
are like the
Harvard
real
students.
Facebook OGs.
Yeah.
And they all probably deleted their accounts by now.
If they know
Well-
what's best for them.
If they even know the website exists still.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure they know it exists.
I mean,
Imagine being like the
Or-
one person.
I mean actively aware
I know,
of
I
their
know.
accounts.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, God, that would be like something like you sign up for it like way back in like 2004 or whatever the fuck that was. Like, I think it was around then, like 2005, 2006. I'm actually curious now when Facebook was
2004
founded.
was what I saw when I
That's
quickly Googled
crazy,
it.
man.
I know.
Yeah, 2004, 18
Yikes,
years
we
ago.
were in
Facebook's
fourth
been
grade
around
in
for
2004.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like starting to hear my friends have Facebook accounts when I was in like 7th, 8th grade, and I think
Middle
mine was
school.
made when I was in
My
9th
Facebook
grade.
account
So
said that I was 57 for a very long time because I made my account when I was like 14. You know, you're not supposed to. So
yeah, I have Cam set as my daughter on Facebook. Specifically my daughter, like, because you could just pick like whatever relationship you want.
and,
like,
and then they have to like confirm it.
Yeah.
yeah.
When my dad first started his he got Facebook like much later,
Cam
like
said
probably like
once.
when my dad started his Facebook in probably like 2014 or something, he didn't want to give Facebook his real birthday, so he put his birthday as just January 1st. So then on January 1st, all of his boomer friends were like posting on his wall like happy birthday, and then he had to respond to all of them and be like, it's actually not my birthday. Oh,
Yo, your cam just went out.
Oh, but that's I like my I don't have my birthday displayed there anymore,
yeah.
and like the number of like happy birthdays I get from people I haven't spoken to in 13 years has
So
definitely
cringe.
gone down, which is nice. But it's
Yeah.
like people would say happy birthday on there, and then I check Facebook 7 months later and be like,
Yeah, I
oh,
have some
it's
notifications.
a little late to say thank you.
Yeah.
Usually just like them. Like I'm just like, thanks. Don't
Hey.
even
Yeah.
bother.
I honestly
I'm pretty
like because I guess Twitter was like a little bit after Facebook, but like we were still kind of in like the demographic that would like use Twitter
Yeah.
sort of like early on. I didn't really. I made my Twitter in college.
I made one and never used it.
I've had a Twitter for 12 years.
Twitter is a pretty
A
awful
cesspool?
place, but like
Yeah.
just as an entire website, it doesn't feel as nefarious as Facebook. Like it kind of just feels the same as it always has. Like there's a lot of just like garbage that gets posted there, but at least
The website itself.
at least you can
yeah.
choose what garbage you see. Like you can
Yeah,
choose your
well, it's like-
brand of garbage.
It's like Reddit for me. Like Reddit is
Yeah.
a shitty place, but you just go to your own little community and hang out there.
Do you
Don't
guys
go on
really
any of the like
use
main subs.
Do you guys really use social media anymore? Like
For me,
I
it's
don't.
pretty much just entirely like
Discord.
Reddit and Snapchat and Discord.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, OnlyFans. That's how I communicate with the.
Parker posts all his updates on OnlyFans. You have
Yeah.
to pay to
Yeah.
pay to keep up with him.
And even on Discord, I'm really just I'm active here, and that's kind of it.
Yep.
Discord even considered social media because it's not like a.
I think
I'd
the
say
way
so.
people use
Server-based
it
thing,
now, it is, I
Kinda.
guess. Because
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
like
see.
because like the public servers are basically like a
Yeah.
subreddit or something.
Yeah,
so,
well, that not only that, but like the original version of like our group that is currently on Discord, like our friends group, not my Discord, is like originated as a Facebook group, like way back in the day. So
yeah, I forgot about that.
I still
That's
have
true, though.
I have that archived.
yeah,
Oh
we
yeah,
I
I
need to
think
look
Garrett
through
has
that
it
at some
too.
point.
we downloaded all the
Don't-
memes and shit posts off of that, and then we
never
completely
looked at them
no, but we
again.
nuked the entire group off of Facebook because we were just like, the Facebook doesn't need to have
we didn't
access to
want
this
Zuckerberg
data.
to have that.
Like,
yeah.
God forbid any one of us decide to run for public office someday.
Oh God.
I think I'm
get
screwed
the Zuck.
regardless.
yeah.
I'm ready for like someone from our generation to run from president and then have
Oh,
people dig up
man.
their tweets from like
So,
2009.
That's how it
like,
already
cancel
is,
them.
though. With
It
like,
is.
Like
that
football
people
players
wanna
and
just
stuff.
dig up every little thing
yeah.
from people's past.
Yeah,
There's
we're
I can't-
gonna
There's like
pretty soon, like full blown adults, like in the real world, like are going to have had social media accounts since they were like 10. And like
we're close to that.
I mean, we're
I've
pretty
had
much
one
there, I
even.
guess. Yeah, like
since
we
I
were
was
talking
probably,
about
like,
how
what, 14?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
probably
14.
14.
You know what's an
Probably
even
for me.
scarier concept? Like millennial parents taking pictures of their like infants.
I hate it, dude.
Posting pictures of them on the internet. You'll literally have a digital footprint that begins at birth.
Without your
Like,
consent, even.
Without your
Yeah.
and you have. I
Yeah.
mean, some data analyst somewhere is just going like, oh man, that's gonna be some juicy data for
Yeah.
like facial recognition training.
Yep.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't
I
even
did-
understand, like, who is that for? I guess just the parents, right? Like they're just doing it
It's
instead of having like a
exclusively,
baby
yeah.
book, basically. But
Right.
why make it
It's
public,
like
dude? You
similar
could just
to
like
letting your relatives know like how your kid looks.
have
You
a
know, similar to
Yeah.
like you would send them pictures or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I'll just post it on Facebook, like, because then all my relatives will see it. But
yeah. I don't know,
I
just
like
make a
finding about
OneNote
things
or
that
something.
happened to my relatives 3 years after they happened. I have like another cousin that was born like 4 years ago, and I found out like last month, and I was like, "Oh, nice." I probably would have known that the people would be like, "Oh, well, it was on Facebook." I'm like, all right,
Hey.
cool.
When you run for president and someone pulls your chat logs from Discord.
Yeah,
You're joking. You're
that's-
joking, but in 10 years that won't be a joke.
oh no.
But
I mean,
isn't that kind of
people
like
that
the
are-
great equalizer though? Like there's probably like not like necessarily awful shit, but like there's probably dirt on like anyone. Like if you
Oh, can you imagine? Everybody has some kind of cringy shit that they
Yeah.
have posted in a public place on the internet.
Yeah.
Like,
Some journalist pulled up from, I think it was an NFL player. They pulled up him saying like something slightly not great, maybe not slightly, from like 12 years before when he was like in like high school or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then so what people did is they went and dug through that journalist history and found him on Twitter just like ripping N-words. So it was
Oh,
like,
so it was
alright.
way worse.
Yeah, it was like, so
Yikes.
the person that ended up getting like canceled and fired ended up not being the football player but the journalist. So it's like everyone just keep to yourself, don't look through people's histories, and
Well,
it's mutually assured destruction.
yeah, exactly. It's
just-
mutually
yeah.
assured
Right.
destruction. Well, even then, it's like, I mean, that journalist came out. I don't know the full situation, but that journalist sounds like he was even way worse than
Oh, he
the
was
guy
a
he
piece
was.
Not
of
yeah.
work.
worse.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
terrible. The football player was like, "Yeah, I know that was inappropriate. Like, it's one of those things. It was a super long time ago. I kind of forgot about it." And then people dug up the journalist like 2 weeks before, saying awful stuff, and it's like, "All right,
My favorite is
you're
when like
done."
funny stuff comes out of like football players, for example's past. Like
Oh,
Mitch
my God.
Trubisky, former quarterback for the Bears, tweeted when he was like 12 years old, like, "I love to kiss titties" or something like that.
Nick,
yes.
who's the NFL player that we always quote?
Oh, are
the
you talking
tweet?
about the former Packers player Geronimo Allison?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
like had a tweet in college that was like, "Yo, I'm in Iowa. Any girls got that drip
Yeah, he
drop
went to
wet pussy?" Like,
Yeah.
like
he
so
went to
funny.
college in
So funny.
Iowa, and he was like, "Yo, any
my
Iowa girls got that drip drop wet pussy?"
It's like it's like the terminology used by somebody that like pretends they smoke weed.
Yeah,
like
I
that
know,
kind of
right?
thing. Like,
Got that bomb ass
some of that
dank ass
bomb ass
perp skirt.
dank ass herb skirt.
There was one I saw recently of like one of the young quarterbacks, like most recent like round of draft or whatever. One of them tweeted like, "Man, this Aaron Rodgers guy is good," or like something like that.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't remember who it was, but there was the
Cardale
quarterback.
Jones.
Oh, that's a
Why should we have to
classic.
go to class? We came here to play football. We ain't come to play school. Classes are pointless. Classic. Classic
He
meme.
actually he graduate or not graduated. He left college early to go into the draft, and then he bombed out of the NFL, and he actually went back and got his degree. So, props to
Oh,
him.
good for him.
How the turntables.
Yeah. Yeah, he is he's an interesting guy. God, what was the last one I'll say. Bomber, thank you for the Prime for 3 months.
Dog.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Kellen Mond, the quarterback that the Vikings drafted this past year, had a tweet that just said like "fuck Minnesota" or something like that from way back.
That's a mood whenever I watch Minnesota sports teams.
Me too.
What?
But
There's
I'm not a
that
fan
Cold
of any
Like
Minnesota teams.
song.
What was that?
The Cold Like Minnesota like rap song. I'd feel like an old man when I say these
Yeah,
things.
what?
Is that
Is
a
that a
hip-hop
thing?
music?
Yeah, one of them
Yeah,
Okay,
hip hop
Grandpa,
songs.
go take your meds and go to bed.
I wish I could. Lil Yachty.
It's a oh
What?
yeah, no wait, I actually do know what
Minnesota.
you're talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, Lil
But
Yachty.
when I
Okay.
was in North Carolina is when that song had like I think just come out, and so every time I told people I was from Minnesota,
They were like,
they'd start
oh,
singing that
cold
shit.
like
Like, oh,
Minnesota.
cold like Minnesota. I'm like, fuck off.
That's like if
Damn,
you
that's
go
a long
like
song. It has a lot of lyrics.
that's like if you go to another country and like that's the only thing they know. Like, oh, Lil Yachty.
Oh, when I was in Russia, because my name is Parker, like every single dude I talked to, he is like Spider-Man. I'm like, yeah, dude.
Wow,
Is like
I've never
Spider-Man.
even thought of that connection.
That's funny.
We went to see a movie in a movie theater, and like there's posters for one of the newer Spider-Mans like at the time on the walls, and like every single one we went by is like, is you.
Is you? Every Parker is
Oh,
Spider-Man.
God.
True.
I went and saw Beauty, not Beauty and the Beast, Sleeping Beauty. What's the one with the magic mirror?
That
Snow
would
White?
be
Yes.
Snow White.
Or
Oh yeah, it
no,
is.
Sleeping. No, it's
Snow-
Sleeping Beauty. It's Sleeping Beauty.
Because what the movie was Snow White and the Huntsman.
Oh, okay,
Oh.
okay.
Oh yeah, you're
And
right.
so I saw that absolute shit movie in Russian. So that was
Wow.
fantastic.
You saw it like was it subtitled even or
Actually, I think it might have been in English with Russian subtitles or the
I mean
other
that
way
makes
around. I
sense.
can't remember. I think I may have
Funny.
known what was going on better than anyone else in the theater. It's just
Yeah,
I have a.
you would think that movies like that would get like localized in Russia, but who knows?
you would think they just wouldn't be made.
Yeah, I would think they wouldn't be shown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just
true.
don't make that. Whoever had
Just
that
don't
idea,
make that.
don't
You just
make
shouldn't have
it.
made that movie in the first
they gotta
place.
They gotta renew their
It's actually a good
IP.
point. You need to use an IP to maintain the license,
Yeah.
otherwise it becomes public domain.
The mouse has got to get his
You get that bag.
get his cut.
Do you guys ever watch like Defunctland?
Brita loves Defunct Land. I've watched a
I love
few.
Defunct.
Oh my god.
I have no idea what it is. What is it?
It's about it's a guy that makes almost like documentary style YouTube videos on like abandoned theme parks and like
Oh.
Epcot and like abandoned rides.
Yeah, mostly abandoned rides at Disney.
Yeah, it's super interesting actually.
Oh.
Yeah, they're really good videos.
So
th-
good.
they're
The
Cool.
video that I like started watching that channel from was he did a whole video on the Nickelodeon
Oh
hotel
yeah, that was a good one.
that was built in like the early 2000s and that they'd always show commercials for on Nickelodeon. So good.
I remember. Oh wow, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah, it's really
Whoa.
good
You should.
actually. It's really
that was
really
all I
good.
knew about it too. Was just those
Huh.
commercials. So you should
It's like a little
definitely go watch
flicker
that
of
video
nostalgia.
because it
Yeah.
sheds a lot of light.
Okay.
Yeah, those are good videos. I
If you
I've
like
watched.
abandoned buildings, Bright Sun Films is another one that does only videos about abandoned buildings.
Bright Sun Films.
Yes, Bright Sun Films.
Yeah.
His series is called Abandoned.
Mhm.
And it's
Oh,
literally
cool.
he just chronicles
sounds
abandoned buildings like all across the world and
Cool.
I
why
feel like
they
I've
went.
maybe seen
Yeah,
that
so good.
or some of it. I like abandoned buildings. Like I like abandoned porn on Reddit, but I don't know if I want to know the history of all of them. Some of them are really interesting though. It's like,
Mhm.
what the hell is that? I need to
Yeah.
know why that existed in the first
Yep.
place.
Yeah, I'm always a big fan of like urban exploration videos.
I know.
Like me and Britta watch a lot of Shai is his name. He's a Lithuanian guy who just like travels around Europe and explores and shit. And he like train hops and shit too, which is dope.
So good.
Me and my dad once talked about doing some train hopping, but it's harder now than it used to be. So
It's
he
really
used to
hard in
do it as a
America
kid.
apparently. He
Yeah.
doesn't have as much trouble in like Eastern Europe especially. But in like Western Europe, he it's really secure.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Like in Germany, he almost got arrested at like the German-Swiss border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He literally had people chasing him
Yep.
off the train as he was
Oh.
like booking it into the forest, trying to run away.
For anyone watching, if you don't
So
know,
it's
that's
such a good channel.
SHIEY. Check that out. That's a great channel.
My will to try out urbexing definitely dropped off once I needed to maintain like a very nice, tidy, clean record for work and everything. And I'm like, even if it's something minor, no one wants to get grabbed for trespassing. So that
Yeah.
is unfortunately not as much of an option. There are still places you can go where it's just not a concern, especially out in like the country.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I don't know how it is in Indiana, but in Minnesota at least, there's not a ton of options.
I could go urbexing in Gary.
Yeah, I mean that's
Ooh, there you go.
Gary's
that's
apparently
that's
getting
expert
better.
mode.
Yeah, hard mode. It's not
Yeah.
the cops that'll get
Gary's
you.
Gary's getting better. It's a low bar, but it's getting better.
It is
On the
apparently
floor.
getting better.
Yeah, Gary
I,
is probably the saddest place I've ever been to.
Yeah, I know
Michael
people that
Jackson's
work at
I've
hometown.
never been.
steel mills, but not even like in Gary, as far as I know.
The only reason you
Just
would
kind of
go
on the
to
edge.
Gary, Indiana, is because you're on I-90 and you drive through it. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely route, like, if my GPS has me going through it, I'll add like 20-30 minutes to my drive to just, because then if I have to stop for gas or something, I'm like, I don't want to be in Gary. Although it's never as bad as I think it'll
I
be.
think
I'll
right
stop
off
at,
of the
like,
highway, it's probably not a big deal, but
Yeah, you're probably
I've
fine.
I've had to stop for gas in like Chicago though, or like some of those places were pretty rough. I tried to find somewhere to take a piss for like an hour when I was in Chicago, and every single gas station I went into had like a security guard, and I was like, "Is there a bathroom?" And they're like, "No." Like, Jesus Christ! Like,
I walked through basically the worst part of Chicago during the day, so it wasn't that bad. Because
Yeah.
someone who did not know the city at all was guiding the way, and meanwhile, me who lived in Chicago for like half of my childhood and like knew at least generally what areas to avoid was not consulted, and so they were like, no, trust me, we get on the blue line or whatever, and we get off here, and I was like, all right, sounds.
if you don't know the city, it's very easy to just take a turn and all of a sudden be like, "All right, what the hell did I just turn onto? Because this does not look like the last street." Like,
Stop at the Interstate Oasis and only the Interstate Oasis. That's not
what
true.
I do.
But I mean,
know that's not
the
true,
thing
but
is,
that's
you
what I
don't
do
have
'cause
to
I
like.
drive through.
Yeah, I mean, there's so
No.
many like you'll cross so many of those that you shouldn't have to stop anywhere else. But like, it's not because like every city gas station is going to be
It's just
unsafe. There's
convenience.
actually only, I would say, a really short stretch where you probably shouldn't stop.
I'd have to pay more in tolls to leave the tollway and then get back on it. And then why not go to an oasis?
Yeah.
So,
And
although
not
the gas
only-
prices are bad if you're on the tollway.
Not only that, but if you're just driving through Chicago, you aren't even necessarily going through like the city itself. You're kind of going around like the
No.
outer ring.
No, I
Yeah.
have gone through the city itself because I like missed a turn or something, and I just took like the fastest route,
Mhm.
which didn't have me going back to where I had been, and I regret that. It was a sketchy experience.
Most of Chicago
So-
is actually completely
No,
like,
oh yeah, I feel like I'm shitting on Chicago. I'm not. Chicago's like I've been there a couple times just for like trips, and like there's a lot of nice in Chicago. It's like Minneapolis has bad areas too.
Yeah. yeah, Minneapolis's bad areas are like relatively like very out of the way though. I guess it's changed a little bit since all the George Floyd stuff, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's
Since
kind of the
COVID,
same way
just
for
in general too.
yeah, I mean, it's happening in like every city, obviously to a
Yeah.
somewhat greater extent here because of the
Right.
circumstances, but yeah, but yeah, it's Chicago. I actually think like at least anecdotally felt safer to me than San Francisco. Quite a bit, I would say. San Francisco is it's not necessarily like inherently like, I think a lot of just like petty crime happens in San Francisco and not so much like violent crime, whereas Chicago has more of like the violent crime, but it's not necessarily against like people who are just like minding their own business in like the center
Yeah.
of the city.
I have a friend that went to Detroit for an internship, and somebody else that lived there was like, "Yeah, it's not nearly as bad as people say it is. Just don't fill up at the wrong gas stations, or you'll get shot." I'm like,
That
"What
sounds
the
pretty
hell?"
bad.
It's pretty fucking
Yeah.
bad.
No,
So that's worse than I thought.
Detroit, like again, at least anecdotally, like Detroit felt like it couldn't be unsafe because there was no one there. Like there was like whole stretches. Like the thing is, you wouldn't even stop on certain stretches because there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And then And then on the inside, like on the inner, like downtown part of Detroit is like fine. It's like any other downtown. I don't know. Detroit was weird though. Like it, but we just drove from like Ann Arbor basically into like we took like whatever the highway that goes from Ann Arbor like just directly into the city was, and so it's pretty just like pretty standard like suburban stuff until you get like to the outer ring of the city, and then it's just like ruins, and then you're just like in the downtown.
I've never been. I'm kind of curious to check it out.
I've never been to like the main part of Michigan.
The
I've
Mitten.
only ever been to the UP. Yeah.
That's crazy because I feel like most people would be the opposite.
Most people have the opposite. I guess we flew through Detroit, so that that doesn't really count though, because we didn't leave the airport.
The UP was wonderful. I'd love to go back to the Porkies, or just even to see more of the UP.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to the Tenderloin, Evan says. Yeah, actually, that's funny because when we were in San Francisco, and I'm sure this is what Evan is quoting, but there was a guy, we were by like the like government center, which is it's not a bad area, but it's close to a pretty bad area. And we got like approached by like a friendly homeless man, I'll say. And he was like, where are you guys going? And we were like, oh, we're just like going. I don't remember where we were going, but we basically like vaguely told him where we were going. He was like, whatever you do, just don't go that way. We were like, what's that way? He was like, that's the Tenderloin. And we already knew like to avoid the Tenderloin. It's like the worst part of San Francisco for the most part.
What is the Tenderloin?
It's just a
really
neighborhood.
Poor, bad neighborhood.
I'll explain in a second.
Neighborhood. Okay.
But he was like, say it with me, and he like clapped his hands, and he was like, don't go to the Tenderloin. And then he like just like in my mind he just like skipped away. He probably just walked away.
Skipped away straight into the Tenderloin.
But yeah, the reason the Tenderloin is the way it is because they essentially have they're not homeless shelters, but they're basically like they're basically homeless shelters, I guess. I don't.
It's like temporary.
There's
like,
temporary,
housing,
like almost
right?
all of the housing there is like temporary housing to house homeless people. So I guess
Section 8 hotels.
they're basically
Kind of.
hotels. Yeah, it's like hotel style housing, and it's I guess like it's sort of like Skid Row in LA, where like by designating an area where like people can just exist like homelessly, they at least keep it out of like other parts of the city. But the Tenderloin is I guess similar to Skid Row. It is just like like it's just a blob in like the middle of like the downtown financial district. And it is definitely like a bit annoying to avoid sometimes if you're just walking around San Francisco. And then otherwise San Francisco is just like it's just like kind of dirty, and yeah, it seems like petty crime is very like common there.
Like my view of San Francisco is so warped because when I was there, I only spent time in the Tenderloin and really like nowhere else because I went on like a mission trip or whatever. So we were like helping homeless people.
It might sound
so
like
every day we would like go into the Tenderloin and do stuff and then leave.
It might sound like I'm just shitting on it. I actually really liked San Francisco, but it's certainly not without its problems.
I love San Francisco. Yeah.
But a lot of it is relatively contained, despite what like the poop map and stuff like that will have you believe. Like, it's relatively contained. Like you could exist in San Francisco without like kind of seeing a lot of that stuff very commonly.
I had the same impressions from like Seattle and Portland.
Mm.
I really liked the cities a lot, but it's the same issues with housing and like homeless populations that a lot of other like San Francisco does.
Yeah, Portland had more like it had like pockets of it almost. Like you would just
Portland
you would just
weird.
randomly find like a homeless camp.
Portland
we'd be
reminded
like-
me a lot of like North Loop.
Yeah, it's
for
similar
sure.
to Minneapolis in a lot of ways.
We'd be like driving down the highway in Portland and like in the median where there's like little patches
I know,
of grass
yeah.
separating the lanes, there'd be like
Mhm.
tents set up. And I'd never seen that before, where tents were
Yeah.
literally just squeezed wherever they could fit.
Yeah.
Portland didn't have Chaz. That was Seattle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was Seattle. Mhm.
It's crazy. Come to Seattle. We
Chaz.
have our own country inside of us. But yeah, Portland
a
and Seattle are
passport.
very similar. They're in the same part of the country, more or less. But
Yeah. I would love to go
get
to
your
Seattle. I
passport.
haven't
Is that
been.
what you said?
Yeah, I said you need a passport to go to Chaz.
You actually get your Chazport.
Charles, shut up. Stop.
All right,
my
it's been
God.
nice.
All right.
All right. We got like way on like a different topic than I expected there, but
Yeah.
you guys want to talk about video games at all? What are you guys playing? Anything you guys are looking forward to? We usually at least touch on this every time, so I figure.
So
I've been playing
been-
a shit ton of.
Go ahead.
I've been playing a shit ton of Tarkov,
Mm.
but kind of fallen off that the last couple weeks. I don't know, got a little bit burned out on it, and
I kind of avoided it
school again.
during the Twitch drops thing because it sounded like it was just awful. So I wasn't playing. I want to play
Yeah.
a bit more, but when like I kind of have always said to you, Sam, if I've had a stressful work week, I don't want to play Tarkov.
I know.
Your idea of coming home and playing a nice video game to enjoy some personal time is not
Yeah,
the video game equivalent of cock and ball torture.
yeah.
Are you
I,
Sam, are you playing something else instead, or are you just vibing? Are you living your life to its fullest, free of the shackles of gaming?
I'm doing a lot of projects.
Nice.
Working on some fun
Yeah.
stuff. Just here and there I'll play. Let's see, what did I play the other day? I fired up Battlefront because I think some of the guys in our server were playing that the other day. I was like, oh, I haven't played that in a while. But as far as new stuff that I'm looking forward to, I know there's one, but I'm blanking on it. Let me open
I'm
the Steam page. Oh, have you
I've been
guys heard of
watching
this?
game.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I've been watching game. This keeps happening.
I know.
I've been watching gameplay footage of Dying Light 2, and I was gonna hold off buying it for a while, but like it looks
Really?
pretty damn good.
I didn't play the first one, so and I kind of want to do that before I play Dying Light 2 regardless, but Dying Light 2 kind of looked a little underwhelming to me, to be honest. Like it looked more like it looked less like kind of gritty like the first one and more like a what were those games like the PlayStation
The first
games.
one was very like kind of fake gritty. Like I
guess
don't know. It's well, maybe it's just because like they give you a whole bunch of like free DLC shit that like makes no like
Yeah.
physical sense in like the game. Like why are there so many like medieval swords laying
Yes,
around?
Dead
and that
Rising
kind of
is what
thing?
I was thinking of. Sorry to interrupt, but Dead Rising was the game I was thinking of to compare it to. But those games were like way out there.
Yeah, Dead Rising was just kind of like a joke. It's like a parody of zombie tropes, I guess. But Dying Light 2 looks pretty fun to me. The first one I liked quite a bit. It looks like Dying Light 2 fixes a lot of the issues I had with like the combat in Dying Light 1, so
Yeah.
but I still might hold off on picking it up.
It's weird because Dying Light, like to me at least, looks like a grittier zombie game, and then it's like not in reality. And then on the flip side, like Dead Island looked like it was gonna be like kind of the goofy, like lighthearted zombie game, and then it ended up like trying way too hard to be gritty. Like,
Well, do you remember the cinematic trailer with like the little girl?
that
like,
was
being
sick,
thrown
but the game had nothing to do with that. Basically,
No, the game was just super like that. I can go watch that trailer just for the sake of watching that trailer.
Yeah, it's a
like,
very
so
good
well
trailer.
made. And then the game was just I don't know, the first like 30 minutes to an hour of it were actually pretty fun. And
Yeah.
then it just drops off so hard.
Yeah, it was the tech. I feel like we said this before, but it was the tech demo for Dying Light, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess the other thing on my mind is Voodoo my voodoo bitch. That's right.
There's a reference to that in Dying Light too.
Is there
He finds,
actually?
like he finds a record player that says like who do you voodoo on it or something.
Yeah.
There's like things you just find around the world. Like I think they're called like trophies. I haven't played it, so I could be way off, but there are references.
Well,
So
there's
I remembered the game
yeah.
that I was thinking of earlier, and Nick, this one actually might interest you a little bit, being a Siege guy. It's called
Oh.
Ready or Not.
Yeah, actually, I am interested in that game. I just
Yeah.
don't know if I want to take like a $40 plunge on an early access game, but
Right. That's my only hesitation. I have some friends that are playing it and speak highly of it, but again, it's still $40 for an early access game. So keep an eye on it. Might pick it up on a sale, but it looks really interesting.
yeah, I actually do want to play that a lot. And it looks really cool. There's actually a game called 0 Hour as well that
Yeah,
like
I
that
actually
looks
have
kind of
that.
fun. Oh, you have that?
Yeah, it's okay. It's a little clunky.
It's kind of early, but it looks fun from like a. I don't know if I want to say like old Siege because it doesn't have like the hero shooter aspect, but it's got like the more like slow paced, like kind of tactical like gameplay. I guess maybe old Siege isn't correct, but like older like Rainbow Six vibe.
Sure.
And then someone mentioned this in my chat the other day, but the game Intruder. I don't know how many of you guys bought that game when it was on sale, because I actually
Intruder.
I bought that and then we never played it, but now I'm kind of like, you should try that out. It seems fun.
Oh,
Too many
this
things
one.
called, and I know.
I
Yeah,
remember,
not the most
I'm
creative name
watching.
ever, huh?
Was it Aqua that
Oh,
had a video on this?
yeah. I
Was
think
it? No, it
General
might have been
Sam
General.
does too.
Yeah,
I think they
he
might
does. He
both.
has a
I'm not
video on
sure.
it.
This
Yeah.
one, yeah, this was like kind of a
This looked pretty fun.
light-hearted Siege.
Yeah, basically. What about
It
Due
looked fun,
Process?
but
We played Due Process. It was
$20,
fun. I actually wouldn't
Yeah.
mind playing that again.
Yeah.
I would totally pick that back up. Yeah.
Due Process, like, I think there was definitely improvements to be made, but the core concept of it randomizing maps, so you're not just like doing the
Yeah.
same strategies over and over again because you know exactly what to do.
Well, it levels the playing field so much because
Yeah,
it eliminates map knowledge, and that was
Yeah.
always my major, like one of the key contributors to me not enjoying Siege, is just pure map knowledge.
It's funny because like with Siege, I got over that hump because I was like, I'm just gonna learn the maps, and then when I did, like I had a lot more fun because like you could do creative shit with characters like Mira and Maestro and like whatever, like come up with cool like setups and stuff, and so it led to me enjoying the game a lot more. And so my perspective was always like, just learn the maps, forehead. But then like. But then I realized I was like, oh, I only learned the maps because I spent hundreds of hours in the game. And even then, a lot of that time was spent not knowing the maps. I play Valorant. I learned the maps in a night. like you can learn every map.
our maps are pretty. Yeah, they're super simple. They're just like larger outdoor areas for the most part. So
I in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, my perspective of Siege was warped by how much time I spent with it, because I can definitely understand like how just like ridiculously steep of a learning curve that game has. And then like once you learn the maps, the game begins, and there's all sorts of other shit you need to learn, like where to make rotates and and then you learn all the
like
maps and they get reworked too. That's true as well.
That's like the first big step in like really committing to a game in a sense. I feel like, because I'm at that I've reached that point with Tarkov. Like I did like I don't know, 2 wipes ago maybe, like where you really start learning the maps and you can time the rotations of like where you can picture like people are going to be.
yeah, you
like,
know
based on
where and
they
when
spawn.
people are going to be, which
Yeah.
It's not a perfect science. It's not like, because the maps are so much bigger and there's so much more.
Well, especially because a lot of other players are also doing the same thing. It's like a game theory like paradox where someone else is like, oh, I'm going to try to avoid conflict, and so are you, and therefore you find each other because you both go through the area when it should be empty.
There is a nebulous word for this, and it's game sense. It's just like the sort of the nebulous like feeling of just like knowing what to do in any given circumstance, basically. But yeah, that's I guess I don't know where that thought was going. I just kind of trailed off.
Is still playing 2042?
I didn't even buy it. I didn't like the beta tests, so I just didn't even buy it.
I hated it.
I
know a couple people picked it up though.
I have like zero interest in that. unless they
Yeah.
change a lot of things.
Unless they
so.
rework the whole game.
My
Yeah.
biggest interest is in Portal, but I'm not going to buy the whole game just for Portal. Not when I could just go play Battlefield 4. Like,
Yeah.
Wait, Portal?
the Battlefield
Portal's
Portal.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second. Are they adding in Portal?
No,
Okay, I
God,
forgot that's what it was
well,
called.
I mean,
'Cause I knew
honestly,
they added in,
some
like,
of the
the
shit
map
they have in
builder
that game, it wouldn't surprise me if they were like the new, what do they call them,
That'd be nuts.
specialist?
Ugh.
That might be kind of sick, actually. Splitgate. Speaking of Portals, Splitgate got a new season. Have you played it at all? I know, Sam, you
No,
were playing
haven't.
it a bit like when it came out. I kind of want to try it. It's got a map editor now, which is kind of dope.
That could be tons of fun.
Yeah, I'd like to play more of that.
Looks like I last played it December 21st, so it's been.
It's probably been about
I-
that long for me too.
You know what? I have an update queued that's just shy of 5 gigs. So
That's
think that must
probably
be
it.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I posted this in our Discord too in terms of topics. It's relevant because the games are so similar, but Halo Infinite is kind of hemorrhaging players, it seems. And I
was
didn't
gonna mention
realize
that.
it, but I kind of just stopped playing the game, to be honest. And it wasn't because
Me too.
it wasn't because I didn't enjoy it, but like there's just like I just felt like at a certain point I had like seen and done everything there was to see and do in like this current version of the game, and I just didn't feel like playing it anymore. Basically, I don't know. But it is good. Like the game has solid bones. I just like, you get sick of like the same 5 maps and game modes. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty limited content wise, which that's kind of a problem I had with all of the Halos that I have played, which is not that many. It's just, I don't know, I feel like I exhausted a lot of the gameplay pretty quickly when playing the online. And that was just from like going and playing at someone's house online or something.
I
so.
think all that Halo Infinite really needs is maps. Like I think all that's really
Would
the
help a
missing
lot,
equation
yeah.
is just more maps. Like they probably need a lot more maps, unfortunately. So
Some of
which
the
is
existing maps
easier
could use a
said
little
than
bit of
done.
help too.
But because like the weapon variety is so good and the equipment is really interesting, I think like just new maps would like go a long way to making that game like more interesting again. But
Still want to play the campaign at some point. I just
yeah,
don't
I would love to play
pay
the
for it.
campaign. That's actually another thing to consider too, is that data came from like Steam charts, which is just Steam users. So there's probably people who are still playing it on like Xbox Game Pass and stuff, and then also probably people who bought the game to play the campaign and were not interested in the free multiplayer that dropped off as well.
Yeah,
when
and
they
that's
beat
not
the
even to
campaign.
mention all the people that are probably playing it on console, like on Xboxes.
It did say it had dropped out of. I'm sorry, it had dropped out of Xbox's top 5 and out of Steam's top 100.
Really?
You're also probably seeing a lot of drop off from people that, because they didn't want to pay for a season pass, like they played for free, and now because they can't like really progress, they're like, all right, well.
I did buy the battle pass, but because it never expires, I don't feel the need to grind it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Halo, like I think the bones of a good Halo game are there. It just needs more content. Which was roughly what I said about Splitgate too. But I mean, Splitgate having a map editor is a big deal. I think I should definitely hop back on that game. I think. Then
That one's a really fun one to just drop in and out of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although it's kind of funny, every now and then I see like a quote unquote high level player like playing that game, and they basically never leave their portals. Like they just like zoom around the map with like using their portal. I'm like, that doesn't look fun. Like the game is like hard when you first pick it up because you have to like learn how to portal and shit. And then it's really fun for a while when you know how to portal, but you're also kind of like just doing shit on the fly. And then it seems like it gets like unfun again when you learn like the optimal way to portal.
Yeah.
Not that I
So
really
always
have any
felt
interest in that.
games like how games like League of Legends would be, where like you have a role that you do and you're just supposed to do like the same thing every time you play that.
There's literally an app
Like, there's,
that
like, a
tells
meta
you
to
how to
it.
build. Like most people just use this app like to
Yeah.
decide what to buy, and like that's like the funniest thing to me.
It's kind of a problem in every competitive game when like
fun.
Yeah.
You still play the game. It just takes
Yeah.
like the like the
There's no experimentation.
Exactly.
There's always a meta.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Like in a single player game, like you might go for a build that's fun over a build that's effective just because like who cares? But
Mhm.
what definitely happens a lot more in like competitive multiplayer is like, well, you don't want to be setting yourself up for failure, so you go and Google whatever the meta builds are.
The single
and then
player
everyone's
game
using
doesn't
the same
scream
thing.
slurs at you when you do the wrong
Yeah,
thing.
but if you, although that does sound like a fun idea for a game mechanic.
Dude, it's actually, and I don't have any experience with League, but it's like the same way in Valorant. Like in ranked in Valorant, like if you pick what's considered like an off agent, which is pretty much just like Yoru at this point, people will literally just like dodge the game, like they just don't want to play. It's crazy.
Yeah, which is ridiculous. Like
Um,
there's a point where it's like, do you really care that much? But
Yeah, I mean you don't see that in Siege. If anything, like in Siege, you would get like off meta operators that would do well because they just would be unexpected.
people aren't expecting. Yeah.
But in Siege, you can pick every round too, which helps. But yeah, I guess like interestingly enough, the only game I'm really looking forward to right now, at least like the only relatively popular game, is just Elden Ring. But
Oh,
it comes out in this month, so
It does?
yeah.
Holy shit, that came.
I know, it kind of felt like the game that would never arrive, and now it's like it's coming so soon.
Wow.
oh God! I saw a trailer for a Russian game that I'd never heard
Atomic
of. until
Heart,
somehow it
perhaps.
came- Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about it today in
looks
my Discord.
interesting.
It does look interesting. I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer about it, because I think if the game is good, that it will be like, based on what is being shown, it will be sick. Like if everything that game is promising comes true, it will be a sick game. I'm worried because none
Like
of the
BioShock
gameplay that's
Infinite in a few ways.
yeah, well, I think it absolutely parallels BioShock Infinite in a lot of ways. But BioShock
Yeah.
Infinite, despite not being like the game that was kind of like quote unquote promised, was still a fantastic game.
Yeah.
I agree. Oh,
It's weird going back and looking at the old footage and
I know,
trailers
right?
from
Yeah.
BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gaslighting myself. So I'll go and look at it and I'm like, wait, this is just a completely different thing.
Britta's got to
But,
play
Atomic Heart does
BioShock.
look cool.
Britta,
She is?
you were playing BioShock 1, but you never finished it.
Never finished it. No, I'm terrible.
I actually
need to,
think, Britta, that you would like BioShock Infinite even more than 1, because it's more like
I know.
story.
I need to
focused.
just finish BioShock, but every time I boot it up, I remember that I have basically no health, and so I just like immediately get murked by whatever's
The splicers.
lingering, and then
Yeah.
I just immediately quit because I get frustrated, and I'm like, I don't want to
Well,
like.
it doesn't
look
help
for help.
that those games use the like the worse you are, the more screwed you get, because when you die, it takes your money, and then you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
pay for upgrades because you
Yeah.
died, so you
I
die more. I just reload saves if I die. I don't in those games. I don't understand the money system. Oh, bye, Brita. Oh.
have like a little cover that goes over my webcam, and it just sometimes falls down.
That's funny because I have
Oh.
that same cover and mine never falls down.
I
Mine's,
bumped my desk, and it kind
Mine
of like.
slides.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where'd he go?
Fancy piece of plastic.
Parker, come back.
Sweatlords podcast learns object permanence. But yeah, Atomic Heart, like, yeah, I will preface this by saying that, like, if the game releases and is as good as it looks, then it will be awesome. But I'm worried because they
Like the
haven't
world,
really
that's
shown
nice.
anything that appears to be real gameplay yet. It's been mainly like very
Maybe
kind of
1 second clips that might have been real gameplay, but like it's too short to really actually get a feed of anything. So
it's a unknown dev that there's kind of information out there that suggests that they have not had the best road during their development.
oh, Mick Gordon does at least like some
They
of
have
the
they have a
soundtrack
9-minute gameplay demo apparently. I guess maybe I haven't seen that,
Oh.
but I've watched all the other
That-
trailers and they didn't look like real gameplay to me, but I'll check that out. I'll check out the 9-minute demo.
But yeah, since Mick Gordon's doing the music and like I had the subtitles on for the trailer because it's in Russian, and it's like just a bunch of things that people are saying, and then it just says Mick Gordon soundtrack when the music comes in. I'm like, all right.
I mean, the soundtrack is even like the soundtrack just in the trailer is like so good. Yeah, people in my chat are saying Lies of P. Have you seen this game? It is
Lies of
like P, just like the letter P. It is a
not.
I'm gonna say right now something that will maybe like be a little bit eyebrow raising. It is a Pinocchio Souls-like game. However, it looks fucking amazing.
What?
Looks really
it's got
cool.
like it's got like a steampunk aesthetic.
This looks like
crazy looking bosses. Like
oh yeah, it looks a lot like
this looks terrifying.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, it's very Bloodborne-esque.
Dang.
Pushing P, hell yeah. God.
Pushing P.
Pushing P.
The Witcher 3 remaster is one that I just remember.
Yeah, it'll be fun to play that with ray tracing.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk should get its next gen update around the same time, which will be interesting. The actual like quote unquote next gen update won't affect PC because it's because the PC version already has like ray tracing and all that shit. But it will affect the whatever the new Xbox is called and PS5. But also they're apparently planning to launch it with like a big patch as well. So here's hoping. Because I like that game. I've been vocal about how I like that game and think that there's a lot of noise out there about the state of that game. But I hope that this patch is what helps make this game what it should be, basically.
That might be around the time where I circle back to it. Because I just completely abandoned it and see when was the last time I played it. June 2021, and that was probably maybe just for a couple minutes. I don't think I seriously played it. I don't know, maybe for a year.
Yeah,
like when it first released.
I mean, I pumped like 80 to 100 hours into that game when it first launched. I just like cruised right through it. I don't do that with many games. Like I don't even have like the time to do that with many games, to be honest. So that alone should say something. I'm not gonna sit here and say the game doesn't have problems, but like the fact that it has problems and I still wanted to like push through it was like, should tell you. I don't know.
Yeah, might have to pick it up again. I need to finish Red Dead 2.
Oh, I haven't even played that. I haven't even played that at all. Yeah, I got a couple.
Another game.
Go ahead.
You can feel the cut content as it goes flying by.
Oh, really?
Like really good, but like things feel just off. Like all of a sudden the story jumps forward really far and it doesn't feel very coherent. And then you go and look up like the previously planned features, and it's like, oh, I wanted that. It's still a very good game. But yeah,
GTA 6 like kind of quietly got announced.
Yeah,
they basically just said that it was coming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like it does.
I'm guessing like 2024 is going to be my guess. God, I am hoping.
How many shark cards does it cost?
Yeah, right. I'm hoping that it launches on PC because that was the worst thing about GTA 5. It took like a year and a half to get on PC. And I honestly like there's a lot of great features about GTA 5. I think that game is mad overrated.
Yeah.
I liked it, but yeah, I mean
it definitely found a resurgence when like with the streaming community, like especially with like RP servers and stuff like that, which is totally not my jam, but I know a lot of people that really like it. But yeah.
Those the RP thing is I like to watch some of it because the people that get into it, like especially the more serious RP ones, like it's actually kind of cool how much people feel into their role and like actually learn about like what they're supposed to be doing to do it. It's kind of neat. I don't have the patience or time to do that, although I think it's kind of interesting.
It
There's Barrow Trauma RP servers where like everyone has to like obey rank structure and shit. It's
that's
actually kinda
crazy.
Cool.
Well, the first thing I was gonna say was it kind of gives me the vibes of like old Gary's Mod RP servers a little bit.
Which were always a bit more of a goof
Yeah.
with like 3 moderators just trying to get people to take it seriously.
Yeah. But Barotrauma actually is a good segue into in chat. I just saw topic complex games. I guess that's a bit of a nebulous topic, but but I know
we were
like
just talking about Tarkov.
well, yeah, I mean that game is complex in a certain sense, like with all of its like gun mechanics and stuff. But
Injury mechanics, maps, but
And they're still planning on adding a lot more to like the injury mechanics and shit. So as far as a first person shooter goes, it is a very complex game, but I think it's more referring to like something like Dwarf Fortress or
sure, yeah.
yeah,
what
well,
was that
it's
game that
interesting.
somebody was sorry.
I was just gonna say that, like, in terms of first-person shooters, that like you could consider something like Siege to be very complex as well, but it's literally complex in the like exact opposite ways of something like Tarkov, where it has like very simplistic like gun mechanics, and then like where the complexity shines is like all the interactions between the different gadgets and like the map destruction and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think there's like another layer of like complex games, like Eve. We were talking about Eve and in the Discord.
Like if you were to define complex by like what, I don't know, like what metric? By what metric do you define
I think
that?
there's
like,
games that are deep,
barrier of entry,
and then there's games that are complex. I think games that are deep, like deeply explore like some number of mechanics. It might be a small number of mechanics, and then there's like I would say a complex game just has like a shitload of like stuff.
like content, like in-game economy. I think is probably another good metric for that. Like
again, Eve.
Yeah. Like number of keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find myself more and more like I used to think like in theory that that complex games were like were really cool. But I feel like anymore
to find your complex game.
Yeah, you play a lot of complex games, Park.
I don't have like Parker, you have the patience for shit like Space Engineers. I do not.
That's pretty far from being one of the more complicated games I've played too. It is. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. You kind of get what I'm
saying. Yeah,
like,
I really like
Dwarf Fortress is one.
Dwarf Fortress, I love it. Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead, which is just kind of just a higher barrier to entry, like not super complicated, but I mean everything's like menus. And then an ASCII tile set being like the default. I think Aurora 4X is my upper limit though. I can try it.
And I haven't even heard of that.
Oh god, look it up, Sam. You'll be blown away.
Yeah, I don't know.
Dip
oh yeah, that's fine, Brita.
I don't know anything about complex games.
That's all right.
Bye.
No
thanks
problem.
for having me.
Animal Crossing.
Yeah, thanks for defending your insane food opinions.
Of course.
Yeah. Bye.
Wait, how do you? I'm having a moment here. How do you
Google
spell
things?
Aurora?
How do you open PDF?
AURORA. Wait, is that right? Yeah, that was right.
Oh, it's not on. Okay, so I'm not an idiot. It's just not on.
No, yeah, you just download it from the internet. All the best games are ones that aren't even on Steam. They're just hidden in some forum in the back of the internet.
But yeah, I was just gonna say that like in terms of complex games, I feel like I've completely like gravitated away from them and towards games that are like I guess like easy to learn, hard to master. Like I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire. And like Slay the Spire, I think is like on like it's like an iceberg, right? Like you could play that game and like never like understand like any of like the meta game, but yeah, when you start to look into it, it gets crazy, like all the builds and stuff that you can do. But yeah, I kind of prefer that.
Starbase before. Katsune brought it up again.
Parker?
I've seen this. What
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, it just looks like a Microsoft program from the 90s.
Is this some kind of simulator?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait, what is it called? Aurora 4X?
Yeah.
I'm just like scrolling through images.
Yeah, I'm
and
just gonna look at
my-
images.
Wow.
Yeah, what?
I've actually I do want to try out Starbase.
Looks like
Maybe I will at
AutoCAD.
some point. Yeah,
No,
it
it
does look like
looks-
AutoCAD.
Yeah. It straight up looks like some yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I played it for like 10 hours maybe over the course of like a few weekends, and I like finally figured out how to leave like the solar system and just like didn't even know what to do after that. So
At any
it's
point throughout that 10 hours, did you have fun?
so I mean that's kind of the thing with really complex games is at any given moment you're not necessarily having fun, but you feel very satisfied.
Sure.
It's like
Yeah, that's fair.
Minecraft, just putting blocks down isn't all that fun, but you still do it to end up with like whatever your final structure is.
Mhm.
Not that I've ever been any
You get
good
a
at that.
you get
I
a
can't-
little dopamine every time you put down or break a block. You know,
That-
just a
that
tiny
click,
little
clunk
tiny little
sound.
crumb.
Yeah.
the
Um,
sound of diamonds being collected.
pretty much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't even know if I play anything that I would consider complex. At least not like surface level complex. Like there's games that like have, you know, complex meta games and things like that, but like I would not consider anything like Siege or Valorant to be like overly complex, especially not given like how accessible they are generally to like wide audiences. And
I really like games that do like pretty deep simulations because then like the world behaves in the way that you'd expect, not like a lot of games like you don't know a mechanic exists unless the game kind of tells you that it exists.
Mhm.
But in like more simulation heavy games it's like I'll expect this thing to happen when I do this because that's how real life is. And that's what I like about like Cataclysm is like there's ways you can interact with the world that aren't directly defined because it's
Yeah.
just kind of like simulating a world. Dwarf Fortress does it even deeper with like if somebody starts on fire, like the different parts of their body melt and burn separately, and it's all like simulated for, which is crazy. I don't know why I use that example. It's a little dark, but that's what I like though.
I kind
It's
of
weird.
to a lesser extent it's sort of the reason why I like immersive sims as a genre, like things like
Yeah.
Thief and Dishonored, and like games that are like have like tell a story and have like kind of a set progression, but like you can kind of progress through them like however the fuck you want. Like they just give you
Mhm.
like a kit of tools, and then like the world kind of responds in an expected way to like whatever you do to it.
Mhm.
But it's kind of like what Parker is describing, just like to a lesser extent.
I'm kind of scrolling through my Steam library here, and one game that I saw that I'm itching to get back to and actually give it an earnest try is Kerbal Space Program. And I think that's a good example of a complex game.
It is a complex game, but it's also weirdly fun to just make like the dumbest thing imaginable and just
Right,
see if
you
it
can
will
enjoy it how you
fly.
want
Like,
to. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, so actually, another good segue into another question we had was games that you would make if you knew how. I have some thoughts on this, but I'm curious what your
Huh.
ideas are, and then we can probably end the podcast on that. Just curious what you guys have in mind.
Okay, this is dumb, but it's the first thing that popped into my head. Did you guys ever play those games as a kid called The Incredible Machine?
Sounds
It sounds familiar, yeah.
I
Incredible.
want to see a rehash of that. A modern rehash.
Oh, is it kind of like it's like a
Oh.
You could
Rube
pretty much just-
Goldberg type thing?
That's exactly it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
I remember playing that on like my family's like super old, crusty like Macintosh. Like when I was a young kid. I would love to see a rehash of that. And it popped into my head because one of the classes I'm taking right now is controls and instrumentation, and we're doing like relay logic. And I was thinking like it'd be so great to have some kind of like game where you could practice this shit because it's a challenging topic and just like I don't know. Anyway, I would love to see 2022 remake, revisioned, incredible.
There's definitely things similar to that. Like I don't know why, but what
Like,
pops into my mind is like your
Minecraft has filled that
Yeah.
role, I think.
or even like kind of on a somewhat more esoteric level, you have like the bridge constructor games that are sort of like
Sure. Yeah.
similar in a way. They have similar
some
elements.
People get crazy into, which
Yeah.
has always been cool.
Yeah,
I would love to see a new Star Wars Bounty Hunter game. I don't know if any of you played the old PS2 version where you played as Jango.
I know what you're talking about. I didn't play it.
That was one of my probably one of the games I played the most.
I remember this game existing. I don't know if I played it because I can't remember like what the gameplay was like.
It was honestly, in a lot of ways, I want to replay it, but I remember a lot of the gameplay mechanics and stuff were really ahead of their time. Yeah, kind of cool.
I found out recently that there was a Star Wars game made on like the original Doom engine, like the id Tech 1 engine.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That blew my mind. I can't remember what the name, it's like Jedi Knight or something. It's like that. I can't remember the name of it.
It's actually, I actually have it in my Steam library.
I think that's so funny.
It's Dark Forces.
Dark Forces, thank you. That's it. Yeah. There is a game called Jedi Knight, I think, but it's different.
Yep. There's a whole series of those.
But yeah, I just it's random, but I thought that was funny.
That is funny. Yeah.
Want them to make a Prey 2 like the original trailer that died and became what it is now. That was basically Star Wars Bounty Hunter. Oh, interesting. I don't know if I ever saw the original Prey 2 trailer.
Wait, Prey 2?
Yeah, sorry. Like I believe that there was, because there was the original Prey in 2006, and then there was a planned sequel that got canceled, and then it got rebooted by Arcane as just Prey.
Oh, okay.
2017.
So I was thinking of a sequel to,
which was a good game,
the new Prey, which I have played. I haven't finished it, but I enjoyed it.
But there's, I mean, I don't know. Have either of you guys played the original Prey, like the 2006 one? You can't even buy it on like Steam or anything anymore. It's completely delisted. Yeah.
Huh.
I'm kind of curious about it, but yeah, I've never played it. I don't know. Do you have any ideas, Parker,
or? So I'm sure I would think of another answer later, but I mean, is the idea of this to be something that one person could make, or is it just in general what game do we
I guess
existed?
just what do you wish existed?
Because I'd really like. There's things that I really liked about like Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah.
That had in part been sort of like the original pitch that just didn't come to fruition. So something that's like Skyrim scale, but Kingdom Come, I think would be really cool because I like the more like realistic aspect to things. I was playing the entire time I was trying to play through Assassin's Creed Odyssey. All I was thinking about was how it made me want to play Kingdom Come, which sounds insane, but it was just
those are very different games.
It's just because like Assassin's Creed was so like mechanically like shallow.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it made me want to play Kingdom Come. I still don't know why. But if Kingdom Come was like a full size, I mean it is a full size game, but like
it's actually quite a large game,
more content.
But yeah.
And like more of an RPG, like
yeah, it's very historically focused.
Yeah, I'm fine with it being historically focused, but maybe they could have like you have like a starting character and then there's like a very set storyline that you go on and like there's side quests to it, but you're always going to be that character. So like more like Fallout style, like choose your own path and things. I'm not having a very easy time describing it, but
no, I mean it's
I don't know.
Yeah.
It basically like Kingdom Come Deliverance, but just with a different skin on it, kind of. In a way, I guess. Yeah, maybe a little bit more beefed up.
Yeah. Otherwise, most of the games that I'd want to exist kind of exist in the form of Dwarven Fortress and Cataclysm. So,
Yeah.
or in a lot of cases, games that I would want to exist are just like something like Cataclysm, but it's first person instead of just like tiles.
Which would be like
something
impossible to make, pretty much.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because like the level of complexity combined with actually being able to like have graphics, as is like the existing tile sets for Cataclysm are like never complete because there's so many items in that game that people can't even do pixel art for all of it.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
This is kind of this is kind of a non-answer in a way, but I was kind of chewing on your question, and I don't think this game will ever exist. But one game that I like just would love is a game that is a pure passion project and is good.
It's so hard to do that because like the people who are making passion projects are like indie devs that are limited by, you know,
Right.
time and
very
budget
limited
and
resources.
and
But every game that I like, even if it starts with the purest of intentions and it's really good, it'll inevitably end up devolving into, you know, a money grab in the form of DLC, microtransactions, like anything. Like, I don't know.
I think the closest thing, and this might sound cliched, but the closest thing that I think I've ever played that like sort of combined like pure intent and like AAA budget was The Witcher 3, honestly. Like and that sounds like an underwhelming answer, but I just don't think that like that a AAA game that like combined like kind of that sort of passion with like that level of quality has like ever really been like done, honestly. And it's not a perfect game, but like but you know, in hindsight, like even you consider the developer's other IP, like in the way that that's ended up, it's like there kind of hasn't been anything that's been sort of like universally like lauded like The Witcher 3 has, I guess. I don't know. But I agree with everything you're saying. I just think it's like it's just almost an impossibility in like the current
no, because at the end of the day, like, I mean, people need to make money, and until the resources to make good games are accessible enough to, you know, the average, you know, hobbyist that can sit down after, you know, at the end of the day after their 9 to 5 and work on a game, like, it's just gonna be how it is.
I'm gonna, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, the closest thing that I've played in recent time has been Ultra Kill, honestly. Just like a developer that like had a vision and just made what he wanted to make, and it's really good and is better than the sum of its parts. Like I'm just blown away by how good that game is for being a solo dev. Basically, he's basically a solo dev, not so much anymore, but
I'm picking that up on the next sale for sure.
Yeah, you should. It goes on sale for like $15. It's worth that and more easily, honestly.
Yeah. I try, as long as I get my like $1 per hour out of it for entertainment value, then I consider it a worthy buy.
It depends on how
like
deep
that
you
metric.
go.
We don't.
No. Just because, I don't know, there's games that I'd spend $10 on that if I played for like, say, an hour would still be worth it.
Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2's got like a 4-hour campaign, and I was like happily paid like $20 for it.
Yeah, whereas some games, they suck a lot of time, and like you're just generally having an all right time while you play it, and then at the end of it, you're kind of like, I don't know. I think quality is more important of the time that you spend playing it.
Yeah,
That's how I felt about like Fallout 4. Like by the time I finished doing everything in that game, I was like, oh, I put a lot of hours into this, and it was very okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I left Fallout 4 too. Just all right.
Yeah. But there
It's
are
not the worst metric though.
There are definitely games that give you less time, but it's a high density of quality. We'll put it that way.
I guess I'm talking less about like intrinsic value and like I was talking more purely like monetarily, but
I paid
True.
$3 for Vampire Survivors, and that's the best game I've played in 2022.
what was it?
It's Vampire Survivors. It's just a roguelike game where your goal is to just kill metric shit tons of the undead. And it's
So that
very
you were-
simple. Like you pick stuff up, you upgrade your guy, and then like you just kind of slowly become a bullet hell.
Holy shit!
Oh, yeah, this is-
99 of the 33,000 user reviews over the last 30 days are positive.
It's
So it's
$3,
blowing
and I've already put probably like 15 hours into it, something like that.
That's not what I expected the game to look like when I saw
Yeah,
like the
same.
Oh,
box art.
it looks like shit, but also like I don't know how they could like have all that stuff going on screen at once without it looking like shit.
It's charming. Like it's not like a bad art style. It's
no,
just,
yeah, it's
I didn't expect that.
You know what? Fuck it. It's $3. I'm gonna try it out.
you should try it. Oh yeah, yes, I'm getting more people addicted.
Good.
You will. That's a game that like I don't even know if it's just like the sound effects or what, but like every time you make a horde of enemies like delete themselves from existence, you just get like just a burst of dopamine. It's so good.
Do you know what? Do you know what a refreshing sight is?
Huh?
I'm gonna paste this in the chat or in the channel here.
I'm scared now.
Wait, where is it? Oh, podcast. I'm an idiot.
Space required 204 megabytes. Yep.
By the way, I really don't like the Allegra chicken post, Sam. I'm not.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Why is your username pink? Did you just? Oh,
It's because he
you're
boosted the server. Yeah.
Nitro boosting. Okay.
But yeah, I whenever I think about this, like what game I would make if I had the know-how and the time and the money, I always think about I would make like a proper multiplayer game with like Dishonored's like outsider abilities. I think that would be so dope. Like to have like another thing I like in multiplayer games and like quote unquote competitive multiplayer games. We'll say like Hunt Showdown, for example, is like having like kind of high accuracy but like low rate of fire weapons. Like I think just like having like precision weapons like that is cool. So I would love to have a game that has like that kind of weaponry and like Dishonored outsider abilities. Like obviously you couldn't do all like the time warping shit like in a real time like multiplayer environment, but I would love to see like a competitive not necessarily like hyper competitive, but like something like Hunt or whatever like that uses those like magical abilities. I think that would be sick.
I mean, even if you just did something like adding some of those abilities into Hunt and then adding just a straight PvP mode.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost envision it as like I don't want to say battle royale, but like a small scale like elimination mode or something where like you hop in, there's like 8 people like solo, and like you all just like try to hunt each other down and kill them. Like in like a small like map. I don't know. Yeah, I've dreamed of this game for a long time, and I'm kind of like, someone needs to make this. Valorant kind of has like the magical abilities aspect of it, like a little bit, but it still is way more like CS:GO than it is like Dishonored outsider abilities. So, but yeah, I think that about does it for today. We've gone about 2 hours, so good shit.